Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Banks, episode 200.
Hey.
Let's go, dude.
What?
It's been a journey to get here, man.
Yeah, it has. It's been an incredible journey, but a journey nonetheless.
Yeah,
man.
dude, it's been a learning experience.
Yes.
It's we've had some amazing guests. 200 episodes, bro. That's
Right?
crazy.
That is quite a number.
We've had, if you guys are just tuning in, if you're new to the brand, go back in the archives. We've got episodes with Drake Kirkpatrick, Travion Williams. We've got business owners like Del Hall, who went 30 days without eating any food, just drinking beer for a full month straight.
16 Lots down here having a concert tonight, actually.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. They're
Yep.
sponsoring the podcast today with the beers.
Yep.
So if you guys have a chance this week, stop down and see them. They are barely staying afloat right now. They're trying to see if they can work through the next 2 months to get to springtime.
Yeah.
The problem with the area, dude, is like when you like Newport on the Levee's got such a perfect view of downtown, but the problem with having that view is having the restaurant on the back side of the building.
Yeah.
Right. So the place is incredible. The food's great. The beer's made in house. You got a great view of downtown when the sun's setting or at nighttime in general. They've got outdoor seating, but it's just on the back side of the levee. And when they built this whole place 25, 30 years ago, they didn't think about Ohio because the banks wasn't there. There was nothing to draw traffic from the water side of Ohio, right?
Yeah.
So now it's one of those things where it's like they should really flip everything around, and this, the water side should be the front facing spot of the levee.
100%. I mean, the landscape of what's been going on in the world, to put it to this point, is a lot of restaurants are flipping, areas are changing, economy is what it is, so like they're adapting. I think they're just doing the bar right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've Kevin McCoy down here, Newport on the Levee performing.
Kevin McCoy's here right now.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. This Thursday, I'll be interviewing him for Beyond the Stage live at Madison Live. So he's down here, kind of like a rehearsal thing. We're doing. He's playing some songs that he'll be playing this Thursday at Madison Live. So it's kind of cool to see this whole day work out how it has. I mean, 16 Lots is definitely the place to go, and Kevin McCoy's there right now. People out here playing cornhole. The Levee's like, we're on Tuesday right now, so it's like, what is there to do on a Tuesday? We got it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, man, and I'm excited to see the interview with you and Kevin, because he's such like an outgoing character alone.
Yeah,
and he's so Southern too, right? Like he wears that that Alabama pride on his sleeve, dude.
He does, yeah.
So it's like one of those things where like the interview is going to be really interesting, man. I'm gonna try to make sure I can get down there.
Cool, yeah.
It's gonna be tough because I already got clown from Jordan Frank for not being at at his event.
Oh.
But hey, dude, I was online. If you see 1,000 hearts that are coming through all at once, where it looks like you got 300, 400, 500 people checking in, that's me, dude. Just slapping away
Clicking
at that heart button.
Yeah.
Does that so on your side? Do you still see that, or does it only come through like once every like couple seconds?
I don't see anything when I'm on. Like,
you didn't go back through the footage.
Oh, I did go back to the footage, but
when was there a
that.
plethora? And that's crazy to think, because on my end I'm slapping away at that heart thing, and it just looks like there's like hundreds of people that are all watching, right, because of those hearts. So it's like I'm trying to do my due diligence on my end. It's like I can't be there, but I'm listening and I'm watching and I'm slapping away.
But I think it
at
registers how many times you're hitting it, so like it's getting the right traction. It's hit or miss, and it's a Thursday night thing. There's a lot going on in the world, so it's not the you get some, you lose some, you win some, you lose some. So you can't be at every event. But this one on Thursday will be a very interesting one because it's the first artist that, because he is CMA certified, so he is, what you consider, he's playing gigs left and right lately. He's crushing it, man. He's out there on the grind.
He was on the main stage of Voices of America.
Yes, he was.
And up there with
Alabama, everyone.
Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, that's the big
Old
one that
Dominion.
stands out to me. Alabama, just having Alabama on that stage, we saw it that night. That was just like literal legends that were in the room.
That aren't
in
gonna do it for a minute. You know,
yeah.
That could be one of like the last 3 or 4 shows that they're doing. I heard that the lead singer has he's got something going on where like it was hard for him to stand in a certain position and perform for an hour.
Yeah.
But like, bro, they've been doing it. You know, they're in their 70s. Like that's like grandpa going out there. Like, you know, same grandpa that just likes to sit on his couch and watch his news. Like,
yeah,
you know,
done his thing, right?
that grandpa is the one that goes out there and just puts on the suit and all of a sudden he's a rock star again.
Yeah. And they put on a great show too. That was the best part. Is like every single one of these bands at Voices of America. So it's back in August. So like it's still kind of fresh to me because but it was such an event for us because we went through so much in that process. So it's kind of like, you know, I can play it back, you know, like it was yesterday, but on every single band because that whole entire weekend was just amazing. It really opened my eyes to what the country music scene has to offer, which is pretty awesome.
Oh, it's crazy. And everything it brings with it, man. All the different companies that were tied in, Busch Light, Zyn, the nicotine pouches, those things are going crazy, bro. Like those things are like the next like 18-year-old, like kids aren't smoking cigarettes, they're doing zines now. You know what I mean? So you got like the kids that are doing the vaping and stuff, but I saw who was it, CJ Stroud, that had a Zyn in his pocket, and it was like Barstool Sports that was like paused it, and they were like, take a look at this. This is why he's going to win games. He's got the extra ammo in his pocket that no one's realizing. You pop one of those little Zins in, and all of a sudden you've got another 2 hours of juice. Yeah, to keep you running. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy to see all these companies coming out and just trying to mass market the one, you know, the one area. And there was a gas station that sold THC runts to a 6-year-old the other day.
THC runts?
Yeah. Which if you think about it, it's like, how is that kid gonna have like $17.99 or whatever it costs for the runts to get him to even?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
How did that even happen?
But I mean, hey. It definitely happens, bro. The packaging,
the packaging's pretty much the same. But
they make the packaging look almost identical to. There were gummies. It wasn't like But
the gas station got both the types of gummies in, and they just misplaced.
No, the kid just picked them up and bought them. I guess.
They were available. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
they just sold it to a kid though. They were available. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I misunderstood. Yeah,
and that like if you go to TJ Maxx, bro, like they've got the where you're checking out, so the counter is only 3 feet tall as it is, and then they've got all like the THC or Delta 8 gummies right there, like at
and the
Kids Eye.
Is similar. I mean, really,
100%, bro.
Yeah. They've got it down to a science at this point where it looks nice and
but it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you want the product, if the product tastes like Nerds or tastes like Sweet Tarts, then you want the product to look like that.
Yeah.
You know, you want to give that impression that this is what it tastes like. But at the same time, like that's you're also gearing it towards kids because kids eat candy. It's a crazy slope, bro.
Yeah.
But
it is.
Speaking of that, I've got a Sweet Tarts one right here. So it's Sweet Carts. So that's a prime example of what we're talking about.
It looks like a container of Sweet Tarts.
Yeah.
It's just the marketing.
It is.
Literally just marketing. That's all that it is. And it's oil.
Yeah.
That's it. But they're marketing it like candy. And that's
it doesn't taste like Sweet Tarts.
No. I mean it's oil.
But it's just the way it looks.
It's literally oil. Like regardless of if it's cannabis, Delta, whatever the case may be, it's still oil packaged as candy. And like it's effective. I mean, it really is. Like people have if you go to like any gas station period, everything is very colorful. That industry is going on the colorful front, which is interesting. I always thought the industry would go more earthy, but it didn't. It's going way more colorful.
Kanye's the only one that went earthy.
Well, it's a clothes thing with the earthy colorways. I think.
Yeah,
Hey, what up, dude?
That's what I was saying, man. Kanye,
He's
like
in
he was.
there.
I was talking about that earlier to somebody on how like he really nailed the market on doing the earth tones when it comes to the colors. Like, you know, most of the colors that people use when it comes to like textile industries are like the reds, the blues, the greens, the blacks, the whites or off whites. And Kanye came in and said, I want to do like taupe. You know what I mean? I want to do dirt brown. I want to do
every type of color.
Yeah, like the earth
like-
tones, man. And keep it minimal, and he really nailed it with that, dude.
It was interesting when you explained that to me a while ago, like with working back up in Kenwood and stuff like that. I go in just about every clothing store, and that's all you see. You see the brown, you see the tan, you see the camouflage is still kind of where it's at, but like that's literally all you see. When I worked at Zoomies, the most popular T-shirts that we sold, off-white. Hands down. It sold me. One of my coworkers was wearing an off-white hoodie. I was like, bro, I need that. I don't care what it says, whatever. I need it. Just because
That's the fashion.
It
thing.
looks nice. Like
Just,
it was really cool.
It is. It is like what we were saying earlier. Is like the colorfulness. I mean, earthy on clothing. That's like, I see the fashion industry going that way in general because it's got that like, I don't know. It's got that chill vibe. Everything's chill right now. Like chill is kind of like the norm. Everyone's kind of going into that phase, which is cool. But like on the cannabis industry, like it's getting colorful. Where I thought it was going to go earthy, like in the sense of like bring us back to our roots, kind of a thing. I thought they were going to play on that in marketing. Yeah. But nah, opposite. It's
no,
like
the gearing towards kids, man.
Everything's colorful.
Everything, colorful, candy. Whatever. It's just crazy to me how the marketing goes and who's the new marketers. Who are marketing this? Like who are the people at play? Is this like cigarette companies that are just doing it from the back end?
I think it's just a way to get things to stand out. I mean, if you see the neon, colorful Lamborghini down the street, and you see this brown car, which car are you going to look at first? It's like who are you gearing it towards? Who's paying attention?
It's just fascinating.
In an industry that's so flooded as it is, you've got to stand out, right? Yeah. So you've got to push the boundaries to look like you're being as a collaborative as you could. Like, hey, we're a drug company, but we are collaborating with,
this brand and that brand.
Yeah.
Even though they're not, what I'm saying?
They're appearing for everyone. That's like for an everyone kind of a thing. Like which is cool. It's just not exactly where I expected the industry to go as over the years.
You know what, man? I'm 100% certain that like Marlboro, they're just waiting for
their turn.
Right. But I mean, because imagine if you can just go to the gas station and buy a pack of cigarettes that's just packed with weed instead of tobacco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they've already got the system to do it. They're just waiting on the green light to do it.
Exactly. That's what I think.
Make the Marlboro logo green. They got rid of menthol, right? Menthol was banned, I believe. So they got rid of all menthol cigarettes. Drop it back, do the green logo, have a little pot leaf on there. Still says Marlboro on it. I'll create the logo for him right now. I got the whole logo on my head.
Same silhouette, just
yeah, bro. And instead of the triangle that they have at the bottom, have a little weed plant coming out, just so you know that hey, this isn't a cigarette.
This is what this is.
Updated Marlboro. I'm gonna make the logo. I'm gonna print a shirt tomorrow, bro.
All right.
Which, by the way, printing fire merch out of here, man. We just did this Jordan shirt.
Yeah.
That was something that I was
fire, bro.
What was I was trying to work on a different shirt this morning, Tyrell. So when I opened up the computer, I was talking to him, and I was like, dude, I really want to do this shirt. And then I started going through my phone, and this Jordan shirt's been in the back of my mind for like 6 months probably. And in the middle of creating the other shirt that I wanted to do, I started that's ADD at its finest, bro. It's like I'm literally trying to make one design, and I see this, I'm like, you know what, I can knock this out real quick.
I could do this.
Knocked it out by 2:00. By 5:00, they're on the shelves, bro. And that's with Tyrell's help, man. Because he was like, you got to put native on there somewhere.
Got to.
And that was like one of the. Here, talk about it real quick. I'm gonna grab the shirt.
I didn't know exactly his vision on where he wanted to put it on the shirt, but when he laid it out for me, he was like, it's like a magazine, and I was like, honestly, it looks like a freaking poster. Like it's dope. I was like, you can compare it to something else that we've already done, but make it like stand out by itself. And I was like, well, it's got to have native. And then we decided on that, and he decided on the shadow, and I was like, oh, it's gotta be on this side because of what's on the other side. It's freaking genius.
Yeah, bro. And then I'm glad that you pointed the shadow thing out too, because that's something that I wouldn't have mentioned, but it's crucial. So like, here's the shirt here. So you got
fire, man.
You got the native, and then you got the Jordan, but you got the silhouette, like the shadow behind him. And I really wanted to do the shadow on the other side of his body. So do the shadow on that side, right? But in doing that, you get a whole black, dark shadow on the left side, because the left side of his body is where like the structure of his body is. So I did it on the right side so that you could see the legs, the arms. You know what I'm saying? So you can see everything kind of just separate from him to kind of make him stand out. And then of course, right here we had to put the Be Like Mike logo, but 30 years later, it's I still want to be like Mike. So, but yeah, bro, that was something that we cooked up here, and then got it on the shelves within a couple hours.
Yeah, it looks great, man.
I still can't remember what the other tea was that I wanted to work on. I'll remember it in 6 months, and I'll knock it out. You know what I mean?
When the time is right.
But that's one of the best parts about being down here, man. Like Kevin McCoy was walking around going, I bought my son a shirt, and he was like, I can't remember which one it was. And I'm like, bro, like, it might not be on the shelves because we've got like 250 like rotating designs that we do, and we've only got a spot for about 78 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's catch it if you can, and then if not, then if you got the nuts enough to ask us to print it, then we'll print it for you. You know what I mean?
Man, that's Seinfeld.
Yeah,
we
bro.
talk about the Seinfeld for just a moment. Some in-store info, I guess you could say, to those out there who do care. Seinfeld is one of our most popular designs, and I tell you what, I'll be sitting here, someone will come running in the store, and they're like, "Is that Seinfeld shirt for sale?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's." And the window like, and then they'll literally call people over to come in and check out for that Seinfeld is on a shirt.
Yeah,
and it's happened 3 times now in at least the last week. People, because they see that Seinfeld shirt in the window, and it's mostly like probably like in the late 30s to 45, 50-year-olds, kind of age bracket, but that is the bracket that it's in. They walk out with multiple. I've sold multiple Seinfeld shirts back to back because people just jump all over what he's doing. Like, he has impacted people. I didn't even realize I did not realize how impactful he is.
I had a 9-year-old that came in who wanted the shirt so bad that his parents bought it for him. And I was like, what do you know about Seinfeld? And he was like, oh my God, let me tell you, like, I love that show. It's like, that is, your parents are great, dude. For the fact that like, and you're incredible for the fact that like your parents showed you Seinfeld, and you get the humor at under 10 years old.
Seriously,
I knew one of us was gonna hit that part of it, but I remembered it was 2 teenagers. One of them wanted it was either the Kanye or the Hasbulla, but this girl, like, probably 12, 13. Mom, I want the Seinfeld shirt. I was confused. I was like, how do you know who Seinfeld is? When they brought it up to me, and she was like, oh yeah, I've seen all the episodes. So we start talking to each other, like quoting moments in the show. I was like, bro, this is so weird. I've never been able to share me liking Seinfeld with any other person. So like, that was just a weird moment that just happened. I loved it. And she came back in, say a month or so later, show her friends the lap. She had the Seinfeld shirt on. I was like,
did she?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She was like, I remember you. I was like, I remember you. Hell yeah.
It's just crazy because it was Adam Sandler. Sandler kind of was, the most asked about shirt.
Spark.
And he still is.
Oh, for sure.
Like, probably the most popular overall shirt. But man, that Seinfeld is the last month and a half to 2 months. I don't know what.
It's wild. I don't know.
Because like, you can literally see the spike for no reason. The shirt's been here the whole time.
Right.
We gotta put a top 5 together because we still get the Harambe, we still get the Hasbullas sometimes. I think Seinfeld is kind of taken the number 1, number 2 spot, but I feel like Harambe on the shelf is a different conversation
Yeah,
too.
if you get Harambe on the shelf, if we get Harambe on the shelf, we're clearing probably. We're going to do pretty well with Harambe, pretty fast.
Yeah.
So
Because there's probably a lot of people that are ordering them online still.
yeah. So what's
I would say because it's people ask about Harambe. I mean, they just see
we
like
need to
him
get
in the window. Just
we need to
little,
get football jerseys, dude. Harambe
Yes.
football jerseys.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
You know, or hockey jerseys, something like that.
dude.
A hockey jersey would be great because that'd be the oversized market. Like everybody want the bigger size, put it over their hoodie. That'd be fire.
We need to make some hockey jerseys, and then we need to pitch it to
Cyclones.
the Cyclones, and just say, hey, let's just do a Harambe night.
Oh my gosh, that would be.
You know
amazing.
what I mean? And donate 10% to the Cincinnati Zoo.
Be cool. There was
Trying to
that-
get on the good side, man.
Yeah.
I still
They-
feel like every time I'm
yeah.
walking through the zoo, I have
There's
like a year
resentment.
pass. Yeah, bro. But I'm always like worried that like I feel like they're looking at me like, oh, that's the guy that made the Harambe shirts.
That's
the
him.
guy.
That's the guy.
The guy's here.
Yeah.
And they-
Imagine how many people
They got
that
like an alarm setting an alarm. beep.
there's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine how many people know
B112.
about the story and stuff like that, and specifically go to the zoo with their Harambe shirt on. I feel like it happens.
Oh,
It
I'm
has to.
sure.
It has to happen.
If anybody has that Harambe shirt, that would be the go-to shirt to wear
For sure.
at the zoo.
If you're going to
100%.
the Cincinnati Zoo, you got to wear the Harambe shirt.
Yes.
Hands down.
They will.
I'll wear the whole outfit, the beanie, the shirt. If I can get something on my little shoe
Yeah.
that just just matches it.
We do need to do the Harambe beanies.
Oh my.
yeah.
Oh man.
I think Harambe. I think the
I'm here
Harambe
for it.
beanies, Harambe on. I mean, even a hat like this, you put the Harambe logo there. I think there's something there as well.
I think
but-
Harambe can go on just about anything
Yeah,
at this point.
you can. What I was gonna say is, there was recently one of those a local football like.
Yeah,
Team-
indoor league.
Yeah, it's like a no
Arena.
helmets. Yeah, no helmets. It's like arena football, but they don't use helmets. There's seven players.
No helmets though.
No helmets.
I didn't know that.
7 players?
That doesn't sound like that's gonna last long.
Sounds dangerous.
Well, I was talking to the guy, and he was like explaining that the injuries are actually less than when they have helmets because people have a natural reaction to not go head first with helmets on. They have a more reaction to go that way. So he was telling me some numbers that statistically,
But
make
still,
it-
getting tackled and hitting your head on the,
Yeah,
on the turf.
Yeah, I was really impressed by what he had to show me, but like, be cool to have a Cincinnati Harambe's league
So-
with that.
Oh, 100%.
how does
That's what I was. just
how
kidding.
does this particular league differ from like what they're doing in rugby? Obviously, it's a different sport.
It started
and
with
stuff.
rugby, I guess, is the thing is how he explained it to me. There was he explained it as it was once rugby, and they formed it into football, but there's
Okay.
no kicking.
Okay, because
No
I met someone at the Levy who was part of a rugby team that was based in Cincinnati, and I didn't know that was even a thing that we would even have in the country, like it's specifically this area in the country. But I don't know exactly how it works. I've watched maybe
The
one or two.
the A7 FL.
The A7.
That's what it's
FL.
called.
So this is like a
So
national thing.
who did you talk to? Did you
Who is
talk
this
to
person?
anybody?
His name was Skyler.
Is he? Is
He
like
was one of the coaches, and now he works with the players and stuff for the Cincinnati or the Cincinnati team, and then there's the Covington Heist. The Covington Heist was the team he was telling me about.
So
Okay.
maybe
But it was
maybe
pretty-
maybe
it was
they were
pretty
part of
interesting.
the same
I like
thing.
that
then.
name, the Covington Heist.
Covington
Yeah, so did
Heist.
I.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got my attention. Like he said he's been here before and he had a whole plan. He's talked to you in the past, but the situation with I guess whoever he worked with prior, it didn't work out in the situation. Like so he didn't want to come here empty-handed again. So he's back into the situation, a new situation, I guess.
Mhm.
And he's like, he came back in to talk, and I was here, and he explained
Dope.
it. And but the league seemed pretty cool. He showed me videos.
Do
Like
they know where they're playing at?
he did list a few, and I don't know.
It's
the
not.
exact-
It's not Heritage because it's like
No.
the same time as the hockey.
This is
hockey
March.
Season.
The season starts in March. He said.
So and
I think-
you don't remember where he said he's
I
gonna
think
play?
they would still.
No, it's an outdoor. He said maybe the Norwood area. I don't.
So maybe like a
I
high
think
school.
I think. Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
that would.
is where they've been doing it. Yeah, but they get pretty great viewage. He showed me all like the numbers and the stats and how people.
It'd be fun to watch. I mean, you got to start somewhere. You just can't build a $100 million stadium and expect people to show up.
Yeah,
for
and
a
the
new
teams
league.
are legit all over the country.
Yeah,
they've like
that's how you start, man. That's how you got to start.
They're in California and everywhere. This is just some that are in our area, but like I guess there's some in Columbus. As well, so like they're all over. This league is like pretty extensive, and he's in it. He had some pretty cool information. I was like, that's cool. He's like I'd be interested in sponsorship kind of a thing with us.
That'd be dope.
So
I can already see the logo for the Covington Heist. I don't know. He's already past that, right?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know where he didn't show me a logo, but
no, I can just. I've already got the logo in my head and already made for him, ready to go.
But I just something to think about in the world, because it's 200 episode we gotta have something.
I mean, that's dope though, bro, because you
something new and play.
I'm here through the weekdays, right? So like I leave here around 6 o'clock, so I don't get to meet like any businessmen. I don't get to meet anybody that's like working the 9 to 5. So having you and Tyrell here on Saturday, Sunday is huge, man. And I know that you got to speak with Queen City Pizza. Is that what the company?
I did.
So shout out to those guys, man, for sure.
Shout out Zach from Queen City Pizza. Yeah, man, he was here for a while. We got to talking about like where I come from and like what I did with music and what I'm currently doing with music and that whole thing. And then I asked him, respectfully, what does he do? Because he seemed like he had something to say, but he didn't. It wasn't coming out yet.
Time, yeah.
Yeah. And then I let him take the floor. He explained what he did at Queen City Pizza as doing a lot there for him, doing website work and a bunch of stuff, and telling me about the menu and how extensive it was, and it was pretty cool. I was pretty impressed for sure, and we're looking for we're in that world of sponsorships and stuff like that. So we discussed some stuff, but like we're all business owners, so it's just nice to talk about other business owners and what we can do with our community with each other. Like he was talking about like promotions and cross promotions, and I was like, yeah, man, I love that kind of stuff. Like that's what we're here for. Everyone on the levee is here for that kind of stuff. So to see how active Zach was at putting his brand out there. And once I gave him the floor, he explained so many details of things of how passionate he was, and I would have never known that. He came in here, bought a shirt. They did purchase an item, and he came in here. He could have bought something and left, and we'd never talked about pizza ever.
Right.
But they heard me out and heard about our store, and were very curious about the lab, and we talked about that for a while, which is set this whole thing up was the lab.
Yeah.
Essentially, the lab created the conversation.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So like that's kind of it is really what we build on things in the community because of something that people can talk about.
And that's crazy too, because it's a rarity that people go back there and come out and don't say anything. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like when they come back through the threshold, it's like that was amazing. It's like or like, where did you come up with this?
Wow.
Like
what happened?
Who built
Yeah, I always say welcome back to reality.
Yeah.
I love saying that just because like people are like, oh yeah, right, yeah, here we are, like, and they'll shake their head almost like we are back in reality, because it is bright there, and we wanted it to be brighter originally, if you remember.
Every time I walk in that room, I'm pissed.
Same. So we like it's just we wanted it to be so much brighter, and when I walk in there and people are like, oh, it's bright here, I'm like, well, if you only knew.
Yeah.
If you only knew how.
That's a good bridgeway to what we wanted to talk about, which is like how we got to episode 200. And the other store, when we were outside, that was the ultimate DIY store. Like we had zero money. We didn't have Turner building anything for us. The white room still had the glue on the floor from the carpet.
Yeah.
So we had to go in there once a month and repaint that room and then redo all the black lines.
Mm-hmm. The maintaining was rough. Especially like where there's like sometimes that leak because of the door.
Yeah.
That?
It was because of 5 guys leaving the trash out of the back. Yeah.
Trash. Yeah, the trash caused that whole entire thing.
Yeah.
But now they've redone that whole area.
Yeah.
It's totally different now. So.
But
different situation.
But the store originally, when we were there, we we were doing everything ourselves. We were having to update everything. And then, you know, when we come here, we've got this store here that Turner built out, and you know, it's nice not having to redo the room once a month. Like, I mean, obviously the floor needs to be painted back there again with just the 2 years of wear and tear. But getting to the point that we are now, man, it's been a journey, bro. Like the podcast, like doing the Santa podcast out of the pop-up shop in 2019.
Yeah.
You know, that was older equipment, and you know, I didn't go to. Ironically, I did go to college for this, so I can't say I never went to college for this.
Right.
But the any of like podcasting wasn't a thing when I went to college. It was all like, you know, literally like it was still reel to reel. Was what they were teaching us in NKU.
This is like a new era of like form of media, even though it's been around, but it's like the way that we present it now is totally different than how it's ever been. I mean, this is literally radio mixed with the video all at the same time, and because we're live, we're not doing any editing. It's all live here, and it's always been live, which is
not always. The first 2 seasons when Nathan
okay.
And that was out of the old story.
Yeah, the very beginning of the PowWow. Yeah,
which is dope. Like editing videos is awesome, and you know, being able to cut it down and really just get to the brass tacks is great. But the turnaround time and then the dependability of having somebody to edit it, you know, because when we go live, it's like we talk about the Bengals, right? We talk about sports, and if it takes a week to edit that, you know, the pendulum is swung by them.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I've been involved, which is I guess started season 3.
Yeah.
So it's always been live since we started this. We could live.
Makes it easier, bro.
Yeah, and
you know,
I like the live.
It's a lot of trial and error, because if you go back to the earlier podcasts, we do have sound issues. There's some echoing and stuff like that. But I see it today. I see. I don't want to say who it is, but there's another podcast that just popped up. They're probably on episode 3 or 4, and they've got the echoing. And it's like it's a part of the game, bro. You know what I mean? It's like
you literally you pivot every step of the way.
Oh yeah,
it's little pivots, even if it's
YouTube University, bro.
YouTube University, exactly. What I did want to say is, when we moved from inside here before they rehabbed the whole building, and we went outside for that period of time, that podcast era was such it is something like I've never experienced.
Yeah.
You know, because I wasn't quite as involved at that point. I was taking photos mostly and part of the conversation here and there. But at that point, it was just amazing to see all these people come together at that very beginning. Because it used to be about 7 of us.
Yeah.
About 7
Everybody
people.
was trying to ride the train.
It was about 7 people to start. And it was pretty impressive because they'd all be there every Wednesday night. Because it was Wednesdays at the time. Now it's Tuesdays because it makes sense for us. So, but at the time it was Wednesday nights, and they would all come down every Wednesday, and I would take photos of all these people. I can look back and find all the photos of these people.
We got characters, bro. That
Lots.
that we like. Some of them I don't even remember their names, but like they would show up every Wednesday.
Yep.
And they would just sit there on the the couch in front of the basketball goal that we had.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and just
I don't even think I got some of their names. I'm pretty sure some they would come in, like they would just chill low key, and they would just say what's up. And most of them were probably like not even college, probably college age, probably like 18 to 20.
Yeah.
But they'd come in and be just a hangout spot. And that is a dynamic that is changed here, where we have the hangout, but you hang out at the register, if you will. But back then it was like an offset couch because the room was so much bigger. I mean, the room was literally twice the size of this one, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. What a different space. Can you imagine if we did this exact thing in that space?
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
It'd be crazy. Like the black paint compared to the was gray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a totally different vibe. It was way brighter back then.
We had a and that's what we were talking about. The lab was like when I was going through the lab in the old store, like we were, I was learning about lumens and you know, we started out with the 3500 bulbs, 3500K, and it's like there's too much yellow in it. So it's 4,500K, 5,000K, then 5,500K, and even at 5,500K, like there was like I think there were 26 light bulbs in that white room, and so every time that I updated it, I would have to update all 26, bro, because like I had 5,500K bulbs, and then I had like one strip of 6,000K, and that strip of thick 6,000K was right there above the exit door where all that Five Guys food would seep in.
Yeah.
And that one area was just so bright and white compared to the rest of the room. I was like, I've got to go in and I've got to buy 26 more bulbs just to rehab this place to 6,000K. And then once the whole room was 6,000K, Facebook, the layout of Facebook in the photo was like the same. It was crazy. So it was seamless, bro.
Yeah.
So like that was my honey hole, was at 6,000K over there. And then like that was my only stipulation with this. It's like, hey, I want an X in the ceiling so that when people can walk in there, they can see an X on the floor. Anywhere you're at, when you're walking around, there's a white X, which X marks the spot. Can you find the lab? It all plays. But my other stipulation was the 6,000K bulbs, and like I flipped out when I saw it was 3,500.
Dude, I know.
Yeah, and they were like, we can't return them, like
Because they're
too late.
They're purchased the size for real.
So it's like, all right, man, all right, well, next store, Avalon, let's go.
Yes, 6,000 on the next one. I'm ready for the Avalon. Let's go.
What would be the next?
on it.
What would be the next vending machine that you would incorporate at the next store for the lab? See, because the 7-Up machine is super dope. It's got if you actually look at the machine, it's got a hidden 7 on it, which is incredible.
Yeah.
But to find that machine over and over again is going to be a stretch.
Yeah.
Right. So
What would be so?
I feel like you got to play to the city. Like if
I was gonna say
like
play to
Lexington, you would try to find an L8 machine. You know what I mean?
But what is a drink that? I mean, every city does not necessarily have a drink. It's just
Right.
what's popular in that region. You know, like you said, L8 or like A&W, root beer. Or
That'd be fire, bro. I'd love like the old school ones, like Dr. Pepper,
RC Cola.
RC Cola. That should be the next one for sure.
I was kind of thinking the RC Cola.
RC Cola for sure.
Yeah, and then put an empty 7-Up can inside that
Yep.
one.
Yeah, for
Just
sure, bro.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Well, that's one of the craziest things about that door is that empty can that has no sign of, leakage for the
So many
RC.
people try to take it too.
I know kids
Man.
always try to grab it.
People-
It makes me nervous. I don't want to like crush it because it's
Yeah.
not like it's an
Yeah.
empty can. It's just it hasn't been.
It's got a little bit of
popped.
buoyancy in there, from the
Yeah.
air still, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't even know how they even that would happen. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
It was literally
Empty
that was like the confirmation. Like, hey, you guys did the right thing. Take this empty can that has no sign of leakage. Like, put it in your machine because kids will literally grab it, and then the parents pick it up and they look at it and they feel how empty it is, and they look at them like it's actually unopened, and they're
Yeah.
like, what? And it's sparked little conversations too because that's random.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And like, but like it feels on purpose.
Right. Yeah.
Because,
Like we physically bought it from fucking RC Cola. Like, hey, give us an empty can.
What? No. So
Just seal it for us. Just
because how
give
many
it to
times
us.
do people ask you if the trash can is real?
Always.
Yep. Me too. All the
Always.
time.
Is this real? No,
least-
there's gonna be a Oscar the Grouch is gonna pop out.
Right.
At least every third person, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely need an Oscar the Grouch somewhere popping out of the.
Yeah. I love the idea of doing the lever or something and pulling the lever or pressing the button and then the machine opening up from
Yeah.
somewhere in the store. That's just definitely.
We can make it happen.
Because you can hear it. That's the one thing about that. No matter if the music is on or not or whatever, it makes a loud enough sound.
And as long as the light's on, like there's so much white light that shoots out from back of
Exactly.
it. It's like you're
Like,
definitely
what is-
looking over.
What is that noise?
I just love the
What is that?
reactions. We also need a good reaction video.
Reaction
Yeah.
cam, for sure.
Yeah, that was something that we need to go back in the archives and see if we can pull out like a top 10 greatest reactions to the video.
I just
That'd be-
want that one moment at the other store where the lady freaked out and almost spilled their drink. If we could find that, like, that was cool.
You had somebody that
Dude,
spilled
the
popcorn over
Yeah,
there.
we had a popcorn person. Throw the girl put the popcorn in the air and it went on the ground, and I got it. I got the broom. Don't worry. And she was. I just wanted them to go in there. I didn't want them to.
Yeah,
Deter,
like,
'cause
stop. And
I
like,
could see when they were walking around that they were interested in like the whole store. I was like, well, let me show you.
Yeah.
She didn't react how I was expecting, and the popcorn went in the air. But like stuff like that, like is just that stuff is the moments that like being there in real time. You can't even replicate it to someone else.
Yeah.
No.
You just are in the moment of watching this. Someone realizing the machine pops open, and they're like unsuspecting.
It's
At the highest degree, they have no idea what's going on because you just tell them nonchalantly, step on up.
Yeah.
And when that door opens and the light's bright, people just aren't ready. Like
Yeah.
it's amazing how people are like put their guard down. I guess it is.
Especially when they go to hit the RC Cola button and then it opens up while they're trying to find the button.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that happens a lot. That's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, it's just funny moments that I've seen over the course of time. There's been quite a few funny ones actually. We've had people like jump back and like jump into people's arms, and they were like the person they jumped into, they didn't want to be in their arms type of
Yeah.
thing. And like I've seen, oh sorry, like so like,
I've had people, of course, are like, you know, I'm not going back there. You guys are going to kidnap me. It's
Yeah,
like, bro, there's
yeah.
not much money in kidnapping an old man.
right,
You know what I mean?
right,
We're-
right,
we're-
yeah.
It's not going to benefit us. I like that part of the reaction based off of anything. I mean, obviously, like the scared and stuff like that. It's interesting too when it's like the one kid is scared, but the other kid isn't. Like where's the dynamic of that? Because it's not the super young. There's the super young ones that know about it and they got to show their family and stuff. But then there's other kids that are much older and they're like, why are we going back there? Is something gonna happen to me? Like, but they're over the age of 10, so like that one confuses me a lot.
Yeah, that's
But
just.
the 6-year-old is like, yeah, mom, you gotta come check this
Yeah.
out. Like,
That's
interesting.
That's called a drama queen, bro, and that's those 14-year-old girls that sit there and go, I'm not gonna go back there.
I ain't going back
I'm not
there.
going back.
What?
You know, but it's you know, it's a double-edged sword. It's either A, you were raised to not be kidnapped, or B, you just want to be a drama queen and you want
You
to
want
make
people.
attention.
You want people to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what happens.
What about the people that panic when they're inside? How many of those have you dealt with?
Freaking out.
Older women.
Older women? Mine's always. I've had a few young people.
I've had 2 older women that have kind of panicked when the door closed behind them.
I think I may have had one or two like moms that are like, all right, son, come on, like this is cool and everything, but come on. It's usually 10 seconds after they're in there. So.
That seems more like you shouldn't be back there more than like a panic.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing when like sometimes the approach is different. So like I stay quiet for a moment. So they always assume that they're doing something wrong. A little kid walks up there, no, Jimmy, and I'm like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then the door opens. So it's like the approach is different for every person. It really just depends on the vibe. But it's interesting because it's almost never the same. There's a couple different things on the list that I've noticed that happens, but it's never the same each time. If 10 people come in, at least 5 of them are going to react one way versus the other 5.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I've got a little story that's kind of funny.
knew
with
you
that.
did, bro.
Yeah, bro. I've got it going. I'm not. There's no name. I don't remember their name. I didn't get their name. But so a while back, these group of like college age students went into the lab, and I showed them. I got them to go to the door, and they opened it, and they all were super surprised. But the one in the back, he like gets in to the lab, and the door shuts. So he continues to run to the pet sensor and open it, and then goes and looks at close and gets to the robot, sees it's closing again, and runs back to the door. And he like goes like this, and it opens back up. And then he runs and continues his tour around the lab. He gets all the way back to the desk, and like there's someone in his way this time because there was a group of people. They were all friends there, but no one else in the group noticed he was doing it.
Right.
Because he didn't want the door to shut.
Yeah.
And so like I didn't realize he was like hesitant to go in. He stood at the door, and you know when you stand there and they're standing there, you want to like urge them in. We've all kind of like, hey, dude, don't keep the door open.
Yeah.
Go inside. So I already said,
In or out, bro. In or out.
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So I said the same thing. I was like, if you mind going in. So he's like, oh, of course. He walks in, and he sees it shut up, and he runs back, and he does it. And I was like, oh. So I started watching in the video of him like going to a section of the lab.
Yeah, you hear the
running
door
back.
open twice. You're like, something's happening.
Yeah. So he ran, and then the last time, the door starts to shut, and he couldn't get around the people, and he like hit the girl, and she bounced off the rack that just sits floating.
Mm-hmm.
She hits that, and he can't get to the door, and it shuts. I think he was gonna have a little panic attack,
Yeah.
and then the door opens, and he walks out, and he walks past, and he goes out into the store. I never saw him again, but it was so funny watching him like try to make sure it didn't shut, and none of his friends even noticed he was doing it,
Right.
because he was he.
It's not like he was doing it like for the attention. Like he literally was like having a panic attack.
He didn't want it to shut, but he wanted to see the lab.
Yeah.
So like he was kind of stuck. So he would do it, and he would walk, and he'd just look back the whole time. And as soon as the door got halfway, he would scurry all the way there, and then like do the hand thing, and then back to the next shirt. It was funny, but he really wanted to see our stuff, but he didn't want it to shut. It was probably the most unique situation I've seen, because he was pretty quick with his little scurry there to get it turned on. He wasn't about to let this shut, while all his friends were just engulfed in the shelving and this. They were looking at hats and taking photos, and they weren't even paying attention to him. But I was, because I saw it on the TV, just him running
funny.
back and forth. That was probably the one, and that happened. I mean, probably like 3 months ago ish. But he knows who he is. If he's watching it, he'd know that I saw the whole thing. Because he went all the way and he knocked that girl over, and she was just like, "What are you doing?" I'm just trying to look at, because she was looking at the art piece. It was on that side by the desk, and he couldn't get around her, and it shut.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it was a little moment.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like a thing with enclosed spaces or claustrophobia or something like that. I've never seen no one react that way. I mean, usually it's the kid that just wants to open the door, obviously, but not like
over and over again.
I'm multitasking while doing it. I mean, yeah, every now and then it'll be the little kid. He'll go back and forth. It's usually he's with his parent. So the parent tells him to come out. They walk around the store. He goes back in there. That's usually what I see, just because he wants to see the door open, but not like to the extent where he was chasing the door closing. I've never seen that.
It was funny.
That's different. But it's like I was saying to you before. I was like, you've actually experienced a lot of different and interesting moments here at this store than me and Jay. And I mean, I'm sure we all have our own version of different things that have happened. But I'm like, some of the conversations that you've had with people and some of the people that you've dealt with in different circumstances and stuff, I think we've all had like our own version of like the native show in a way, like if that makes any sense. Like I think it's beautiful, honestly. We work, different shifts, different times and stuff like that. If I choose
different
to
types
stick
of
around.
people.
Yeah, different types of people come, different waves and stuff. I remember
I get the later crowd.
Yeah,
the people that usually might have some alcohol in their system. You know what I mean? Because like by the
That's
time they
fair.
get there by 8 o'clock, you know what I mean? I mean, I still have 2 hours on a Saturday till we close at 10. So at 8 o'clock, people have maybe started drinking by 5, 6, or 7, whatever. So like they're started, and they come into the store and they're feeling pretty good, and they have some interesting conversations with me a lot. So
I think back to the days when I used to do the whole Saturday, like how different it used to be out there than like my Thursday and Friday nights in here. And it's like, I don't know. I can't name a time where it was really just completely different than like anyone else's experience. Like my Saturday nights, they were either really busy or they weren't. Like there was no in between. That one guy that came in, it was raining outside, and he really wanted to see the store. And I'm about to close the store because we had our sign outside. So I go grab it, bring it in, and he really wanted to see the store. So I let him see the store, and he spent $300. So like that to me was like one of the coolest moments, because I was 2 minutes away from shutting the door and locking it. And that experience of shutting the door versus like us having this thing, it's a whole different thing. You're already inside. So if you're not already doing something somewhere else, you're in a space, or now they have these little activities, so you're playing a game or something like that. So yeah, like you said, different people, different time of the day and stuff like that. In a way, I miss those Saturday nights. I go back and forth with it. Like I like being able to just, have anything to do randomly or whatever, but I don't know. Different
maybe
vibes.
one day you'll get the Saturday nights. It just depends on.
I'm here for it at this point. It's just like, I like to be busy. I like to be busy. I find myself having too much free time, and that's when I I wouldn't say get into trouble, but that's when I just do things that I probably shouldn't do. I should just have something to do at least, even if it's not me working or me being super busy, just something that's occupying my time so that I'm distracted, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm going to use my time as productive as possible. I'm going to try to, whether it's working or family time with Charlie or, any time of certain things that I've got to put my hyper focus on, I use my time to the maximum because though, I mean, we're all living in a different, reality, really. Hey, what's up? So we're all living in a different reality. We all do different things. Someone posts a video on the internet. You may see it at 4 p.m. I may see it at 8 p.m. We're at different time periods. So, it's just an interesting place to be when you've got so much going on. And I often have something to do, whether it's, whether it's with Native, whether it's beyond the stage, whether it's with even taking photos for things, and then there's the dynamic of being a father and homeowner and different things that I have to do with that take care of that aspect of life. But all this time that I have to put into my life is just building my life. So as you say, you just got to fill that time. You're building your life. So think about it in that sense. Building my life to wherever I'm going, it'll be meant for me because you're putting yourself in enough doors to open up enough opportunity, and if you take one of those opportunities, you never know where it could lead you. Just you've been with Native for a while, but the whole happenstance of you being with the company is persistence. You were persistent, Tyrell, and it worked in your favor in the sense that you got a job, you got a place that you've met brothers, you've got people now that care about you that otherwise did not know who you were. And over this course of now, talking 2019, 2020, that was the time. So we're in 2024 now. These are people that are a significant amount of time, all because of persistence. Because you saw it, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go back there. I'm going to go back there. I like the vibes. I like the energy. I like these people. You know what I mean? And there's something to be said for that. And we're gonna create more content. We're gonna tell the story more up to date. I think it's really needs to be said how everything has come to fruition. We've worked very hard over the last 3 years, and we're here now. We're ready to take the next steps as a company, and we're ready to take the next steps as people. So that's what's great about the episode 200 here is it comes at a perfect time. It's a
pivoting moment for sure.
It's a pivoting moment, but it's beyond a pivoting moment. It's we may be facing adversity, but we also know we can get ourselves out of it. In the back of our minds, we'll find a way.
For sure,
we'll find a way. It's not it's not crazy because the future is uncertain, but yet yourself well enough to know I can get myself out of this because I've got the experience.
Right.
You're not fear panicking. That's not the mindset. The mindset is what do we do next?
Yeah.
What do we do next in this economy, in this landscape the world's in? What do we next as people, and how do we build on from what we've already built to this point, and how do we make it even better? Which we're doing every single day. We had the conversation before we got on the podcast about what our next steps were, and we're actively thinking of those things every single day. And it may not happen for 6 months, but when the 6-month time comes and that time has arrived, all the work we're laying right now, that's manifestation. That's creation. That is making something out of nothing. And I think it's a beautiful thing, as Tyrell said earlier, that how it's all played out is beautiful. And I still do. I mean, even though we're years in, we're at the very beginning.
100%. Still in the minors, waiting to get called up.
People do 5-year plans. This is a 5, 10, 15-year plan. So we're really only 3 years into 15 in that kind of a landscape of thought. So.
And and there's moments too that to me, people don't realize high moments and low moments, right? So I can't tell you how many times somebody goes, all you have to do is get a celebrity wear your shirt and you're set. And it's man, I wish that was the case, right? and that's
People
not
still
though.
think that
Well, I mean,
one
even
celebrity gonna break
even the hundreds, like their big story was, when they were trying to get popular, when they were in our shoes right now, Jay-Z wore one of their zip up hoodies on tour for his big tour that he's doing.
if it's about a whole tour, but if this is one photo,
And they didn't sell anything.
oh,
So that he was like, you would think that like Jay-Z wearing the zip up bomber hoodie on his tour would give us sales. He's like, it didn't do anything for us. You know what I mean? And that's reality, man, because when people are watching a celebrity or somebody on Instagram or Facebook, they're not looking at his, they may glance at his shirt or glance at his hat, but it's not out in the masses. It's not like people are like, oh my God, I need that right now.
right, yeah.
You know what I mean? But shout out to Gary Owen, man, because he wore the native 513 hat on Shaquille O'Neal's podcast.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And bro, to me,
It was huge.
That was one of the biggest milestones that Native's ever had. Like we've had some great moments. We've had, moments with a ton of people. Emilio Estevez, like, you know what I mean. But the moment that Gary wore the hat in Shaquille O'Neal's podcast, it's like, for me, like I've been trying to get into the Authentic Brands group for years. So it's not like, I don't want Gary Owen to be like, yo, like this is my boy's hat. Like I'd rather the situation play out exactly how it was, where Gary just wore the hat because he likes it, and then Shaquille O'Neal's watching him for 2 hours.
Yes.
Talking to him, just staring at him, right? So it's like now he's got that native hat in his brain subliminally. It's not like Gary told him about it, didn't say anything about it, which, like I said, I wouldn't want him to push that on anybody. It's got to be organic. The whole brand is organic, and it's never been forced upon.
Yes.
So, now that it's out there and the energy's out there, it's like now it's time to double down. So now it's like, now get into Authentic Brand Group's DMs again. Hey, if you don't know about the brand, Gary just wore it on episode 3 of Shaq's podcast, right? And getting it out that way, bro, because we're at a moment where, we're still in the minors, but the reason why we're in the minors is because everything's been very strategic. Going back to the original Ohio logo, I just kept printing that one logo. Obviously you see my brain, you see how I can create logos off the rip, right? But that one logo, I just wanted. I put it out there, and then I had Brad Humphreys. He's like, I've got this in the gray, the black. I've got it in the white. Like, give me something else. And I'm like, bro, just give me a minute. You know what I mean? Like, just let me flood the market with this until people see this logo and they go, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
And then once that happens, then we can move on to other logos and other designs. And like the box logo that you're wearing, it's not a play on Supreme. It's a play on Marvel, which is the craziest part, because everyone's like, oh, you're trying to be a knockoff Supreme. Yeah, it's like, well, if you want to like go down that rabbit hole, bro, like this font it's been my font for 10 years. This is the font that I always use, and the reason why I use that font is because it's East Bay Magazine's font. So this is my 1980s self. I still remember buying a pair of all black low Nikes. They were just all black, nubuck suede with just one white Nike swoosh on the side, and it was my first online purchase, right? But that was like through the telephone. You had to call East Bay, you had to place the order, and me, Maurice, and Daryl all got the shoes. So it was like one of those things where, there's moments and there's levels, bro. And I just like I really, to get to the next stage, it's got to be us pivoting to the point where we know the product's good, we know the product sells, so now we take the best of our products and we put it out there for the world and say, hey, do you want to carry this in your store? And that's what January, February, March is gonna be about, is to try to get into lids, knock on their door and say, "Hey, let's go." Authentic brand group. Hey, let's go. You know what really bums me out is Gary V has been wearing just within the past week. It's a Stables hat. I'm not a Jeff Stables, mate. No, because that's Jeff Staple. It's a Stables and Sons, I think it is. Stables and Sons. It's a really. The hat is kind of fire, to be honest with you. It's a 5-panel trucker, just like you're wearing right now. So there's no, and that's the trick to the whole hat, bro. Is 6-panel. That means that there's a seam right here. Check this out. 6-panel. There's a seam right here.
Yes.
And there's a huge difference with that seam or not having a
yeah.
seam. This is a 5-panel without the seam. So Staples
It makes all the difference with that logo too.
So Stables and Sons. The first person I saw wearing it, bro, and this is why I'm not super mad at Gary rocking it, because the very first person I ever saw wearing it was Jake Browning. He wore a Stables and Sons hat, and now I'm seeing it everywhere, and it's like, okay, so there is a little bit of recipe behind the madness when it comes to somebody wearing it and it getting popular. Because when I saw Jake Browning wearing it, the hat didn't look like anything special. It looked like it was his dad's father-in-law's company that he was rocking, right? But now everybody's wearing it. Look at Gary Owen's last Instagram. He's got a white version on, and the hats. I could be wrong, but I think they're over $100. And it's not well, and it doesn't have any puff on it. Doesn't have anything special going on with it. It's just a right moment at the right time, bro. So our time is here. Our time is there. We just have to capture it when the time comes. You know what I mean? Like something like this, it's really easy to print 500 of one hat. Right. If everybody was all Cincinnati, it'd be very easy to do Native 513. But because of the fact that we've got, 292 area codes across the country, we got to be strategic with it.
For real. I was actually thinking about the girl that comes in from Hawaii the other day.
The girl
someone
that's
kept mentioning.
in the Miller
people keep mentioning
military.
Hawaii. Hawaii's being a conversation with me with a lot of people. They're like, "Have you been hearing what's going on with Hawaii?" And it's getting enough people's attention that they're bringing up, because when we talk about news and stuff, people are like, "Hey, what do you guys talk about on the podcast? Have you guys talked about Hawaii yet?" And I'm just like,
"What's going on in Hawaii?"
I guess there's just things are not good with the military. There, the military is just pointing a lot of people that the military is like really taking over Hawaii. I don't know, but I read this thing about
Dynamics, man.
in the 90s, they were sending the homeless to Hawaii. New York City was. They were buying them plane tickets and sending them
one
Hawaii.
ways, yeah. I've heard that. I didn't think it. I think it was one-way tickets to anywhere out of New York, not just Hawaii, but they could choose where they wanted to. Like you can choose anywhere in the United States, but it's a one-way ticket. So I could see 70% of people going, "Hey, I'll go to Hawaii."
Right, if I can go to Hawaii for free.
Yeah, live on the beach, bro. Like I don't need a house. You know what I mean? I can live there with good temperatures all year. Let's roll.
I'm living on the beach. I'm chilling.
You trying to look up Gary V right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I misheard you.
Oh, you're trying to look up Gary Owen.
I went to Gary Owen and I saw the hat video, so I reshared.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
That hat is fire.
It is fire. And you know what, dude? Shout out to Joey Cook, bro, because that was a hat that I gave to Joey.
That hat is so dope.
Joey gave it to.
I'm jealous. That hat is so cool.
You said white, right? So.
That's the white version that he's got. So Jake Browning has basically our version of the
it's a nice hat.
Goddamn, fucking not smoke trees, but only you can prevent forest fires.
Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the Bear. So how it's got the green bill, brown top.
Yeah.
That's the one that Jake Browning was wearing.
Gotcha.
But he was wearing it while we were still playing, like during the press conferences and stuff. So if you look at Jake Browning's page, he was wearing it like a month ago.
That's interesting.
And I've never seen it before in my entire life. So there's levels to it, bro. There's you've got to get it on the right person at the right time, but then people have to react to it because at the end of the day, it's just a T-shirt, it's just a hat, and everyone's wearing a T-shirt, everyone's wearing a hat. So you gotta make sure that stands out just a little bit.
There's a reason that certain people wear certain clothing.
For sure.
Yeah, people want to feel seen, they want to feel heard, they want their message to get out. So if your brand is coincides with their message, you're in there. But it's all about the depth of the brand, the people behind the brand. There's a lot at play. Branding here. We just got our Kevin McCoy's posted. His promo video is up on the Beyond the Stage Instagram. Awesome.
Oh, the post went through. Good too.
Our video did. But yeah, pretty cool, man. Excited for this Thursday. It's gonna be awesome.
What time is it?
7 p.m.
You said you can live stream that, right? Like
it's gonna be all live streamed.
Okay,
yes.
you gotta show me where that was because I've been trying to figure it out so I can implement it and like maybe screenshot a clip and post it somewhere or whatever. But obviously, since I'll be here, but I'll, like Jay did, man, I'll go through and post and stuff like that. When I saw Jordan Frank, when I saw his, I was making sure I was adding stuff like that. I'm sorry we missed his section of that Louisville emo show thing that was going on, but it was still good to see him there. Like even us walking in the building, like we got to talk to him, so that was cool for sure.
It is cool.
But I'm glad he's making moves, man. I mean, he was on a cruise and now he's doing show. Like heck yeah, happy for him.
He's busy, man.
Bro, he's
gotta
so
be busy.
well.
Jordan Frank.
let me tell you something about Jordan, bro. So he's always been a phenomenal piano player and musician,
multi-talented.
But when he went to Howl at the Moon, so Howl at the Moon, they were down at the Banks for maybe a year and a half. And the way that Howl on the Moon works is they've got a 5-piece band on stage, and people just yell songs out like "Ain't Nothing But a G Thing." It could be completely fucking random, like
random
what, and
songs.
it's a drinking bar, right? So they want to hear drunk music.
Of course.
And when somebody yells it out, or when somebody writes it on the paper and gives it to them, they've got to go through it and they've got to learn all these different songs. And not only that, but they rotate. So 10 minutes of the set, Jordan will be playing the piano, and then the next 30 minutes he'll be singing, and then 30 minutes after that he'll be playing the guitar. They all pivot, and they all just interchange their yeah. So
that's dope.
To be able to do that, bro, like you've got to open up your. Like you can't have tunnel vision. You can't be like I'm the piano player.
Nah,
you got to open up your vision,
around.
and you got to be like I know how to do it all. And so like the year that he was working with Howl at the Moon, like I saw him just grinding it out, bro. Just every day he was learning new shit on the piano and just posting it online. Like, it's impressive, man. Especially when the music industry is so not flooded, but it's so hard to make it in the industry as it is.
There's so many musicians in the world.
Yeah, bro. And to get to the point where somebody goes, "Hey, you're so good that I want to isolate you with 700 people on a cruise where these 700 people are going to hear you for 7 days only."
Right.
That's a huge milestone, man. And for Jordan, it's like, of course, he wants to come back and feel like he's got a gold medal, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and that he should expect, X amount per gig. And unfortunately, like the way, especially with how many bars and restaurants are closing these days, it's like it's tough to allocate $300 to $600, of a one evening to the musician, but. But once you have that fan base, man, once you bring people in, that's the name of the game, bro. It's a numbers game. Like if you want to get a DJ to DJ your party, if you're gonna pay him $300, then you want him to bring in 30 people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's an offset there. Like
I'm definitely certain that he's getting paid well because he's super talented. It's crazy. I think meeting him was like the most random thing. I don't exactly remember how it went down, but I just remembered the conversation. I remember getting the hat and stuff like that. But I think for somebody like Jordan, he's like, yeah, obviously I need to make money and stuff like that, but it's more of putting his name in that place, in that area of people. It's like, oh, I'll come down to the levee, I'll stop by, I see my homies, oh, I'll go talk to them. He's able to move. And you know, there's certain people that get stuck doing the same thing all the time. I've met so many people through the scene and stuff like that, and they kind of like that comfort zone. And Jordan, he just doesn't seem like that type of person. Like I could feel like I'm in California in this week, and I'm in Florida. Like he can move around, and it's really good. Yes, and it's really good the fact that he knows all of those instruments. The only thing I've ever seen him do is sing and then do the guitar and stuff like that, piano. But I'm definitely certain that he can do all more. So it's good to be flexible. It's good.
But also when you're on a cruise ship, bro, like you're playing for people that have disposable income. You're playing for executives.
True.
You're playing for people that own businesses. You're playing for maybe like people that are already in the music industry. You know what I mean? Record labels. Mm-hmm. Like when it comes to being on a cruise ship, like that's a family business, and that's a family. The families go there to spend 7 days on vacation, and they've got a lot of disposable income. And so for him to be able to be on that ship, even if it's just a month at a time, like you're getting 4 groups of people that you're entertaining for 7 days at a time. So like as long as he's doing his due diligence and talking to people afterwards and getting his name out there, like it's gonna come back tenfold that you're not gonna realize, because one of those guys are gonna be like, you know what, man, I've got a buddy that works for this label, or I work for this label. You know what I mean? Like there's
it'll shake out.
Yeah,
really
100%.
You put the work in, you will see it come back. It's just how that happens. It's completely in the most random circumstances. You never know.
It's in the universe, bro.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you can be in a club one day playing for 5 people, and one of those 5 people are someone that can change your life. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's something to remember, because all it takes is, let's say you're in Cincinnati playing a show, and it's a weird Tuesday night, whatever, and someone is in town for a convention, and the convention ended Monday night, but they didn't leave. They don't leave till Wednesday or whatever. But they went out that Tuesday night, on that slow Tuesday night. They're in the room when you're playing, and now all of a sudden they're like, dude, I own a whole label. I could change this. I could literally change your life right now, man. Like, I'm only here for 2 days, and I'm here, and you're here. That was amazing. How often do you play, and why are you playing in this place? Because they'd be very confused, because it'd be a slow night, and you're so good. But because there's so many talented people in Cincinnati, it's like slim pickings, and you got to get every single night. You have to push. You have to do that. Those steps to get to the next level, because this city has so much to offer on the artist front. I mean, if you really get down to it, the amount of artists that come out of the area, whether it's Cincinnati, even Northern Kentucky, and Indiana, all 3 areas have artist galore. The art on the walls is getting more and more detailed. You see the alien in Covington? Mm-hmm. That's an art piece. Like that's super dope. Like, stuff's happening in this area on an artistic front that's comparable to any city in the United States. So because that's happening, more and more art, more and more music people are going to come to this area because of Nashville, and how busy Nashville is becoming. And even on Thursday, I have Kevin McCoy. He got his success out of Nashville. He's still in Ohio, but like all his successes Nashville really put him on the map, and that's a big part of his story. So Nashville is not that far from here, so they're all coming to this area. You never know when an opportunity is gonna strike. So someone like Jordan, who's out there grinding, who's out there, playing in the piano bars, dueling piano bars, he's pretty amazing when he's working with some awesome people too. Like, talent elevates talent. When you're out there working with the best of the best, man, like, that is what elevates you. And I really am proud of Jordan, man. He did the Beyond the Stage with me back in October. Huge shout out to Jordan Frank, man. Huge shout out because he made a great interview. We had a great time. It was just a great time overall from the beginning to the end. The live stream looked good. He sounded great. We had just really, at that point, we were really getting our legs under us because we've only done 5 up until this point, and Jordan was the 3rd one. And that was just a cool experience, and I'm so glad that we were able to be connected, and we're connected forever because of that. So, because he's forever guest listed on any event that Beyond the Stage does. So if you're part of it, if you're a performer or on the couch, you're guest listed at any future event that I do. So I've got a long list of guest listing that's kind of building up, but they're all artists. So I'm just trying to pay it back to the guys that are out there doing the thing, man. They work hard at it because they go do their job, and if they have a 9 to 5, they go do their thing. They work their day away, and then they get home and they do what they love. And so many do that out there that you don't even realize how hard they're working. So gotta give them the props, man.
For guys like that, you gotta stay humble, man. Kevin's a dope dude. He didn't walk in here like a celebrity. He walked in here like himself.
Yeah, man, he did.
Jordan lives his life and does his thing and keeps putting out fire music. Like, it's not like he ever stops. It doesn't seem like the man sleeps. It seems like he's always working on something. I think I seen a post from his easily 4 o'clock in the morning, him working on some type of music like that. That's the type of passion that I like to see in a performer and an artist. He might not be known around the world. Maybe he is. I don't know. But the fact that he's still, I got to go say hi to the homies. I got to go support. I got to go on a cruise ship rocking the brand. He could be in any type of generic clothing, and he chose to support Native, support J-Style. And I love that. Like, that's awesome. Kevin being as dope as he is, walking around with the Native hat on, going to business owners who got lots of money, and he chooses to rock our hat. Like, stuff like that. Like, that is awesome. 100%.
For sure, bro.
I'm a rewatch that interview with Gary Owen. I got that little snippet and I shared it, and I'm like, bro, it's so cool. It looks crispy on his head just watching him move around. It's so crazy.
Yeah, man. And the surprising part is Gary doesn't think he looks good in hats, so he's real particular about the hats that he wears.
Right.
And there's 3 or 4 of ours that are just like in his rotation, bro.
Floating.
That's so cool.
Floating, and then he always likes to do the Harambe t-shirt. Too. I start seeing a bunch of pictures of that. The blue one, the black one, going to the Bengals games, doing the peace signs and stuff like that was really cool.
Yeah, we were talking about that, man, how he wore the Harambe shirt on a Thursday for his show down here at the Funny Bone. And so many people commented about it that he hit me up and he was like, hey, do you have any extras? Like, bring them down here. We'll sell them, and I can just autograph them, for the VIP thing.
That's super.
So
dope.
we dropped off a whole cart of Harambe shirts. So there's like a small batch of Harambe shirts in the world that are all like Gary Owen signed.
That's so cool.
Yeah, bro.
That
Really
is so
freaking
cool.
dope.
Just
Right?
out there.
I'm here for it.
Me too.
I wanna see him again. I know he does his shows all the time, all over the place. But I would love the fact that we had that opportunity. I think back to these past few years, man. I've gone to games and I've seen performances and stuff, all because of my position here, doing what I do here. And I'm like, I got to see my very first comedy show was Gary Owen, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed because not many people can say that.
He was just here this past weekend, man. I wish I was able to get to the show, but the. You know what's crazy? My wife, she took the there we go.
Got to stop in with
That's
the boys.
awesome. Send it to me.
She got her flu shot, right? And so like a month ago when all 3 of us got sick,
Oh yeah.
she was like, yep, you should have got your flu shot. Well, she's sick.
Oh,
So
she's
got
sick?
the flu.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness!
I'm like, you shouldn't have been bragging, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that didn't do you well.
Yeah. You
Did not help.
created that. That's. I just don't talk about. Just like I just try to stay healthy.
Try to
Right.
stay healthy,
Bro, like
Vitamin C, man.
Vitamin C.
I love
Whenever I
so much
start to
vitamin
feel, whenever I start to feel like I'm getting sick, I'll take 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C in the morning and then 2,000 at night, and it just like pushes it out of my body,
Yeah.
bro.
Vitamin C is
I need
it's the go-to.
I need to get back to drinking my real orange juice, man. That was my go-to before Liquid Death was a thing, before all these other things that I now consume, Body Armor a lot. Orange juice. That was it. I
Bro.
only drunk orange juice for a long time.
So if you go to Fresh Time over in Newport, they have fresh squeezed orange juice,
Let's go.
and this orange juice, when you drink it, bro, you're like, what the fuck have they been giving me? Because
it's gonna
like this
change your
is
life.
so good. Yeah, it's like at the time when I was buying it, it was like $5 or $6 for like a half gallon, like a, just a half size milk carton. But dude, like 3 ounces of that, and you're like, this is amazing compared to like a 12-ounce glass of like the OJ that you get at Kroger. It's
Yeah.
crazy the difference.
I mean, I prefer real orange juice. I've had it, I've made it and stuff like that, but it's the laziness. Go grab something. There was one brand, I don't want to say a name and be wrong, but I remember back when I was still in that relationship, there was a particular brand of orange juice that had a recall. And I remember I had one, and I completely forgot about it. Like, I just went to the store, bought it, and then I thought about that article, and I was like, oh, man, I hope I don't die. Like, it was a joke at that point. Like, I'm going to let you know, man. I'm going to finish this orange juice, and if I don't make it, I can tell you that I had this orange juice. But, no, fresh orange juice is so much better, and you can always tell the difference. I've tasted orange juice enough at 27 years old to realize that, like, fake orange juice is fake orange juice. It's horrible compared to real, and it's just better. I'm down. I'll go grab some. I'll go check it out. Fresh squeezed.
Yeah, bro. Fresh Time's the shit over there.
Fresh time. All right. Keep that in mind. Add that to the list.
All right, man. What do we have to talk about?
Where we at?
So, I think we should talk about what we're kind of like going towards in 2024, and what we're kind of like where we see the brand. Because we talked about the past and all the stuff we've been through, but where are we at is as a collective, like, tribe, group, like we got Yaman a part of things as well. The future podcast that we'd like to start and stuff like that, like where we're kind of going, where they can see where Native on the Levee's going to go, like what we're doing. Like, I think that's something we should be transparent and just get as many people involved that want to come down and be a part of things as possible. So.
Yeah, for sure, man. So the podcast thing, I think, is going to be huge. So we know how to produce podcasts, how to create podcasts. We know the green screen. We've got multiple spots for the podcast. Santa Claus has been calling.
Yeah, Santa Claus about to be.
He wants to review Christmas toys throughout the year, which I think is genius. So I really think doubling down on the podcast, man. We're slow during the days, the daytimes. So I was even thinking about maybe like keeping the store closed until 3 or something. But I don't want to miss if we're here like that. That's the one thing. Like if I come in at 8 a.m. to start printing clothes, like the doors are going to be open because I don't want to miss any sales. You know what I mean? Like I can print and talk at the same time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But if we're producing podcasts out of the back room or the white room, which we want to use the white room for the we were talking. You want to use the green screen for the What If podcast.
I think
which I agree. Like you want it to be like a Dick Tracy like detective style room.
It can set the vibe pretty quickly.
Yeah,
you can put whatever
but I do think putting a camera right where the big mirror is in the white room, and then having the two of us sit on the hand chairs with the lights off and just those two lights shining down on us.
That's cool.
I think that could have.
I think that is for sure. I think there's place for both of them really, because you could do like a special episodes where like the text is behind you because you're basically reading off conspiracy theories and then doing reaction videos too. Like there's all these different dynamics that we're gonna be having inside them, because that's the beauty of a conspiracy theory. You get to get your take on it. It's a theory, like, oh, like what do you think about this? Like
Right.
This is something that is getting a lot of traction lately. Is it true? What is the case? And there's so many people that come to the store that talk about them. literally all weekend long, people are like, "Do you guys talk about conspiracy theories?" They ask me if the podcast does. I'm like, "We do actually," and they're like, "Oh, I believe this," and they'll tell you right off the rip because they're quick to speak on it, man. And I think a lot more people out there doing their research and staying in the know than the internet in general would like us to believe. I think more people are really keeping a close eye on what could happen. So conspiracy theories to some people might be they're getting knowledgeable, man. They would rather know than just sit in the dark, and I agree. So if we can bring light to some things that might be something to highlight in this life, like I still love the Shakespeare one. I think that's one of the most interesting.
It's crazy. I love that one.
Yeah, I just think it's awesome. I just think the whole thing that, like, not to take anything from him, or I don't know, maybe, but the idea that it could be a woman that needed a front man because at the time she wouldn't be able to get her word out, so she went to those lengths. I think that's pretty amazing. That's quite a story that someone would live to become how big they became. You know what I mean? Just because of front man. If that's the case, like, that's incredible to me. So.
People are loving this Jordan shirt, bro.
Hey.
As they should.
Yeah.
As they should.
Got a bunch of people saying they want to come in this weekend and pick it up. Got people asking if we can ship it. All right, so if you guys want this Jordan shirt, I will get it on the website tonight. You'll be able to purchase it late tonight or tomorrow morning. That thing's fire, bro.
Oh, yeah.
It's the shadow, man. It's a shadow for me. Being able to, the DTG printer can add those shadows that silk screening can't, because you can do the 50% like opacity, and then you can do the the blurriness where it kind of just fades. Like it would all be dotted if it was silk screen. It just doesn't look right. Yeah,
the DTG adds a dynamic that you really can't replicate in any like, because here you can
see his gold chain, bro.
Yeah,
you got
exactly.
2 gold chains on. Let's roll.
Right. And people are like, what about DTF? Direct to film, but that image on direct to film would be huge, and you could feel.
Yeah.
It would be almost like sticky to your body. Come on in. No.
I don't want to interrupt, I guess.
All good. Podcast is live. You guys can come into the store. The store is open while we do all this too, which is the cool part, man.
We are open. People out here playing cornhole pretty late, though. I mean, people love their cornhole.
Bringing the grass in and putting the cornhole on top of the grass. I don't know what it does, but it's crazy the amount of people that use it compared to it just being on the
ground.
I think it's been way more effective on the inside, like minus obviously the cold weather or whatever. But like, it's just something about the way it looks. Like, it's just. People, it's an inviting feel. Like, I know the ideas have been bounced around about what they wanted to do with this empty space, but I think it's interesting. I also was told that another development is in the works. So where the playground is, what they want to do is they want to move it over to the side a little bit because it's in the middle, and they want to add more to it. I have these conversations, just getting pieces of information that is helpful. I had my doubts about this thing being effective.
You did?
And it actually has turned way more effective than I thought, and I'm grateful for that. I've seen a lot happen here at the levee. I've seen the different changes and stuff. So like, I'm an observer first, and then I try to add my input on various things, and I just feel like, the ideas are there. The ideas exist. Everyone has their own ideas. It's about putting them together to where they make sense, and getting more input involved in these ideas would help benefit all of us. I like that it has that factor that, parents can bring their kids and they can see something cool and do something cool in whatever time frame that they decide to be here. So,
right.
Knowing the information that I know and seeing the make of these last couple weeks of this playground and this little environment, they've used it for multiple different things. There's little mini games that you can play. There's the little kids space. There's these different events that are going on the weekdays. Like, that is definitely pretty cool. So it is what it is. I'm grateful for it. You know, I want to see progress. I want to see more things happen and more fun aspects being put here at the levee. You know, giving people reasons to come down here and enjoy the time while they're here instead of just being here to do absolutely nothing. Like, I would rather people come down here and they see that they have a space where they can do cool stuff and they can enjoy every bit of it. So that's what I'm all about, 100%. I think this lady wants to purchase something. You got it? Yeah, so like I'm grateful for that. I'm glad to see more of that happening here. And I hope that we can just continue that mindset. Continue, you know, we want to bring people here to have a good time. We want to bring people here to feel like a sense of home when they're away from wherever they're coming from. They're coming down here and enjoying themselves. That's what's important. That's what's going to help all of these businesses thrive. That's what's going to help, you know, the local side of things. You know, we can't look at this place like any other place. We got to look at it as, this is Newport on the Levee. This is what we have to offer. This is something that is different from anything else. And we have to adapt with that, with all that information. And it's nice. It's nice to, you know, see change. It's nice to see the growth throughout the years of different things happening here. I want to see more of it, and I think putting ideas together is going to help us. I think bringing in more pieces to this puzzle is going to help us. I think it's just a lot of different stuff can help make this place the place to be, for real. So it was like my moment to talk for 5 straight minutes. It's all good. But yeah, no, I was just talking about, like, I found out some pieces of information on what they're gonna do with the playground out there. I was telling Andrew. So they want to shift that section of it slightly over, and then they want to add stuff to the side of it to kind of make it more helpful for the kids. Make sure it's as safe as possible.
You know what's crazy is the little jungle gym they got right now is actually pretty dope, but because of the fact that they added so much grass and they got so much space there,
right?
It's like they need. It doesn't look full, right?
Right. They need to fill in that space.
Yeah, but it's it's helped out a ton, man. You know,
Right.
the moves that the levee's been making the past like month and a half, 2 months. It's really shown that they're trying to. They see that you know, inside the building isn't working. The outside is, for some reason. Like, you know, everyone uses those elevators and that glass to get in with the oh, look at my guy out here with the Britney shirt that he picked up.
Something, I think so.
He loves it, bro. Yeah, that's
Andrew was on it. He saw they went over there and they were ready. So he was like, "All right, I'll go."
can't see him out of the corner. Yeah, that's cool, man. And that's one of those things, bro. Like, we've got you know, that might have been the only sale today, actually, which is
Hey,
fucking.
I'm here. You know, obviously we want to make more sales, but look, the doors are open. So if they never would have saw us open, you know, it never would have been that curiosity, and it never would have got it. So
Absolutely, bro.
I'm here for it.
100%. And I've noticed that Andrew's been getting sales like after we close recently. So like he's like staying open later just because of the AMC building, right? So like the
Right.
movies get out, people are coming down the stairs and they don't want to end the night yet. They don't want to hop in the car and head home. So they're trying to mill around and see if anything's open. So I mean, it's been like the past month. I feel like every Sunday I've gotten a message from Andrew saying, "Oh, we got a late night sale,"
Late
and it
night
was
sale.
like 9:15, like, and you know he's supposed to close the store at 8, so it's like the fact that he's staying here that, you know, later just to, you know, because he doesn't have anything to do or whatever it is, man. But it means so much because every sale counts, every sale matters, bro.
Right. No, I agree. It you know, it sucks to see it sometimes where it's just one, but that one I've talked to Sal about it too. Like that one sale is better than you being closed. You know, trade has their specific hours and times for the month of January and February, and he's taking those days and he's using them for production. He's finding something to do, some way to connect with people to where it's like, hey, I'm gonna be open. If everybody else wants to be closed and stay home, that's fine. Hey guys, but I'm gonna be open and I'm gonna make those sales. So like I love that. I support that. I've stayed, you know, later nights, Thursdays and Fridays. Sometimes if I see a large amount of people moving around in that like 8:30, 8:45 time frame, I'll push it. I'll be like, all right, cool. Let's push it till 10 and see what happens. And sometimes it's worked. And then sometimes I even feel bad because I'll close the door, get ready to go, and then I see that group of people and I'm like, dang it, if I would have stayed 15 more minutes, you know, maybe I could have got them in the door. But
yeah, it's and that's the thing, man. It's the movies, right? So, you know, they're housing, you know, 30 people that are all getting out at 9:35. So if you close at 9:30, you're like, oh shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But those are things that it's all trial and error. You know, you'll figure it out when you're feeling everything out. You know, okay, well there's usually a push around 9:30, you know, or 9:35. So
what I've been getting in the habit of is just checking the times of like the latest movies, because sometimes they'll have like the early showings. You can come in at 11, you can come in at 2 and watch a movie. But like if you can see a movie and it's 8:30 to 9:30 and the movie's 2 hours long, game plan. All right, I'm gonna stay at least till 10:15. If I see 5 people come in, boom, I'll stay till 10:30. You know, just add extra minutes to it. And I've done it enough times to see like the timing. The timing is key sometimes.
For sure.
What's going on, brother? Doing podcasts. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm sorry. Daniel, nice to meet you, Daniel. Tyrell. This is the.
I'm Jay. Good to meet you, man.
Squad. All right. Respect it.
Very cool.
It's good to be positive. It's good to have that good energy in the world.
Yes, sir. All right, Tyrell, what's your 2024, man? What do you want this to look like?
2024, man. I want to see more collaborations with the brand, no matter what aspects of it, music, media, whatever. I want to start doubling down on getting my brand ideas out there and pushing for the spring and summertime. And
it's coming up, bro.
Honestly, I want to see the hard work that we've put in push further than it's ever had. You know, Andrew made a point of, you know, us finding our thing here for this year and doing something with it. I want to see us push as far as we can possibly go. All this time, I want to see it happen, and I think we can do that. I think we keep putting the name out there, and we keep, you know, talking to these brands and talking to these businesses and stuff, and we can make something happen. I've been a fan of Lids for a long time, so I know that that's one location that we're trying to push into. I no problem going there daily and just talking to them like that. That's a fun conversation for me because I love hats. I used to think about owning my own hat store, and now I work for a clothing brand that also sells hats. So it's like, hey, things happen, man. You manifest
cool.
It on accident, you know.
That's cool. That's interesting.
So that's my goal. Just production, man. Take this year and just do every single month something different, but something effective towards the brand, towards life, everything.
And how do you think that you can help push that process? Facilitate, push that process along. How do you feel like you as an individual, as Tyrell sits here on the couch and Native on the Levee, in 2024, what do you think?
I'm a pretty talkative human being, so sure. I wanna go speak to as many people as possible. I wanna just say the name, you know, Native brand, my brand, a fish that can't swim. You know, like I just want to do it. It's not so much a thinking thing anymore. It's more or less just having those conversations. I think what stood me out to Jay in the beginning is just I was that persistent young person. I came in all the time. I had good attitude, good energy. So I want to bring that, kind of almost bring it back, you know.
Yes, sir.
And just see what happens. Yeah, see what happens, man.
To the roots of it. That I think that's I think it's important to like go back to the beginning sometimes, where you know that's where the heart of everything started, and then you kind
100%,
of
bro.
built from there. But the future's bright, and I think there's place. Like we've talked about the table many times, and there's plenty of seats available in their own place, and that's just the way it is. Because with growth comes growth within. You know what I mean? Like growth as a company comes growth within, and we are expanding in the best route, which is organically. It's happening because of just these conversations that you speak on. You know what I mean? Like you like to talk. I like to talk as well. Jay likes to talk. We all like enjoy conversation with other humans, and enough of those conversations, it eventually will tilt the scale. You know what I mean? It will make a difference, and it will put you in a place where people trust you and trust your brand and trust what you bring to the table is something that they can get behind. And these conversations that you also speak on are so many people have posted on the internet your name. Like, hey, I talked to Tyrell. I had a great experience. You can see that in real time on Google reviews. You know what I mean? It's out there. There's people that reviewed have name dropped you. So the stuff that you speak on, you're living. It's about execution and how you make things happen. Is what you personally like. That's if I was you, that's what I would go. Like, I want to execute this. A fish that can't swim. Where can native can go next? How can I take it? Like, and I think the same way for myself. What can I do to help the brand connect other different communities? I'm always thinking about who we can work with next, because that's just kind of where I've taken my brain to. I'm like, you know what? Who can work with each other to make something that's organically perfect? Because these two entities are sitting alone, and if you put them together, you know, you shake a little bit together, you might have a whole new thing going that you never even thought possible, right? Because I mean, we talk about like, you know, rise the tides and everyone becomes better that way. But like, companies work the same. If you work with another company that's doing super cool stuff, you also rise to their level. And if you rise enough seas with each other and enough water, like, and you tread water together, man, you just don't know where you could go with another company's backing. Because when you promote each other, we talked about that football league earlier. Like, we might be able to scratch each other's back without even stepping on. There's no toes to step on, because it's just natural. We've talked about wanting to sponsor stuff. We've talked about native racing and all that stuff that goes along with that, and getting a car wrapped. I think a native car wrapped would be super cool. Mm-hmm. So stuff like that, like,
that would be fire.
Natural big moves. I think 2024 is the year for that. I think it's going for it and seeing what it all shakes out when 2025 comes around. I think 2024 is for taking big swings, and that's kind of where I'm with it. Let's take some big swings. Let's see where it can shake out. And
totally agree. Yeah,
big swings. We're going for home runs. We're out here trying to be Aaron Judge and these other big hitters, man.
I like the phrase or quote or whatever it is. The words that were spoken together is like one of the biggest mistakes that people have is thinking that we have enough time. So it's like, what are we doing in our time? What are we doing every single day? Have we done, even making a list, have we done something productive? Have we connected with another human being? Have we made some type of business move? Like, all of these different ideas, like, have we crossed that off of our list for the day? One of the biggest things that I used to think of being a younger person and growing up was like, I always wanted to make someone happy, someone smile, something, no matter what I did throughout my day. I always wanted to do that. And that's just coming from like working in the food industry and like working with around people and stuff like that, like just the little quick little things, and just finding a way to implement that into the business sense of, all right, well, I could do this, and this with all this free time that I have. So just about executing it. You know, you have the ideas are there, putting them out there. I know exactly what I want to do, but it's about what are the steps to get me to that point. You noticed a list that was written out. Yam gave me these word prompts.
Yeah, I saw the
of
list.
different things for my brand specifically. So I wrote out kind of like what my answer would be. I want to go back through and I want to actually type it out and like put it on like a piece of paper that I can look at every single day. But it was just kind of like a rough draft. But basically, I had to sit with myself and I had to really think about it. Like, it wasn't just like a quick thing. I sat here in my time of space where it wasn't really a whole lot going on, and I just sat and I just thought about it, like everything that I could say, everything that I could write down. And honestly, I felt like it was helpful, because like doing stuff like that, like, all right, this is what I want, the dream car. This is what I want, the motorcycle or the skateboard, the PlayStation. What are gonna be the steps that's gonna get me to that point? I know that before I die, before I turn 50 or whatever, I want a Corvette Stingray. I know that I want that. I know that I've always wanted that. So what am I doing now at 27, almost 28, that's going to get me to that Stingray? It doesn't matter how long it takes.
Yeah.
I know that that's what I want. I know that I have the drive in myself to say that one day I'm going to have this car. I don't care what's going to stop. I'm going to get this car. I'm not going to steal it. I'm going to make sure that I have the funds. I'm going to make sure that I have the time put in, invested all this energy to get to this car. That's it. So it's like every single step that I have to put together, every single thing that I have to think about doing to get to that point.
And you had a list that to get to that point of financial freedom to be able to, make that purchase.
Right. Just putting all of these ideas together in one, and doing it with everything, not just, the dream thing, just in general. This is what I want in life. These are the things that I want. This is the collection of things that I would love to have. Not necessarily the things that I need. That's another conversation. But the things that I want. So then, how do I get to that point? And I think that's a beautiful thing for all of us. Like, what we could do in 2024, what we want for our future goals, what we want for our now goals, and just put it out there. Just push it, make it happen.
Yeah, man, I appreciate the drive on that, because it sounds like when you're explaining that, like when you sit down and write out the goals and you make the list. I think the listing is, I use list a lot. I use it in my notes. I'm really big on the list thing, because it really summarizes where you're at in your head, and you can physically see it, and you're like, all right, well, like
checking things off is huge.
Checking things off, and that in the feeling you get when you check something significant off is so monumental to the next steps.
And it's more effective if you write it down. You'll remember it faster. Yes. You'll pay attention to it more. It'll
be on your mind instead of in the back of your mind.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I think we take for granted, like, having this level of technology that we have. It's so easy. You can look at things and stuff like that, find out information and stuff. But if we actually just take the time to sit with ourselves, sit with our thoughts, and actually jot stuff down, I think that there was a generation of people that were more successful because they decided to write things down. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying it's 100% fact, but I generally think that there is something to actually writing stuff out versus putting it on your phone.
I think that also has to do with narrowing down what you want to do, right? Because like a lot of people now, they go, I want to have a clothing line. I want to be a stewardess. I want to do this, and I want to be a fashion model. And it's like, narrow it down to the one thing that you can't live without, right? And that you're the best at. Narrow it down, and then start doubling down on that. Instead of doubling down on this, and this, like bring it all in and just home in on one thing, and then let the other things fall into place, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
if you want to be a professional fitness instructor, that can come in time. Like if that's your big passion, then follow that, and then let the clothes follow that. If you want to be a clothing designer, then put the clothes first, and then let the fitness thing fall into it, where it's a fitness brand, right? Like there's things where everybody wants to be this and this. I want to have the YouTube, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and it's like,
find a way to connect them. Find a way to narrow it down to the point where it makes sense.
Yeah,
and you're not overwhelming yourself with all of these different.
And
things.
then focus on one of those things, and then let everything else fall into it. And that's the big thing, bro. Is like like, especially with me, like I've got this I didn't have my blinders on for a long time, so I was like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and I was acting in movies, and like I wanted to do the clothing line and all this stuff, and it's like, bro, not until I got my blinders on and said, this is my passion, this is my focus, everything else is just gonna fall into it, right? So like put the acting and all that shit on the background, focus on the brand, and then the acting will fall into place.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, you just have to be all in on one thing, not half in on 5 things.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's the big issue with today is everybody wants to be the YouTube star, and it's like, well, you got to have something. You have to have a base to be a YouTube star.
The way I see it,
you have to build. You got to basically have like
foundation.
Foundation,
and then you have to compile on that and be like, then once you have enough dynamic, then you have enough to talk about. But if you just come into it and be like, all right, well, I'm just going to be myself and I'm going to be wacky and goofy, well, what's going to have you stand out? And then you go through the whole process, how you market yourself, and then like it gets way deeper than just making a few videos. Now, some people do have the personality and they do go out there and they are able to make nothing into something, but most of the time you have to have your path. You have to have it where you're so, like Gary Vee talks about it. We talk about him very often on the podcast, but he really just like he says go after it and go after what you are meant for. Go after, make the content for what you want to see, and then people will come back that are going to relate to you. You don't have to force it. You just do it naturally. Go natural. Because people are like, how do I make money off something I like? Well, start to trim the fat. Find out what you want, and then climb the ladder. Do whatever you got to do to get there. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to do it but yourself. But if you don't try at all, you don't even get a shot in the game.
100%.
You don't get a shot. So, like, I'm a big fan of swinging for the fences and see where we're going to land. Shoot for Mars, land on the moon, right? Shoot for Pluto, man, and land on the moon, kind of a thing. Like whatever it takes, but at least go out and go for it. Because in 2024, like in 2023, was much the same. I'm like, you know what? Let's just go for stuff. That's where Beyond the Stage came from. Speaking of the space theme, like I just wanted to do something where I'm working with the artist that I'm working with on a pretty regular basis with other shows. So let's just build from here. And now we're about to do our 6th one. That's 6 months worth of shows, events. So I feel very proud that we're there, and what's to come next, who knows? Trying to get some radio stations involved, and Kick Lee was here this weekend, trying to get the...
Shout out Kick Lee.
Yeah, man. Shout out Kick Lee for sure. Trying to get him involved in some of the events, Music Accelerator program. So just trying to get that going. But, like, Cincinnati has so much to offer, and I think that if it's done right,
strength in numbers, bro.
Strength in numbers. If it's done right, and you make a quality product,
I can't like stress that enough, bro. Is like it's all strength in numbers. There's too many clothing companies out here for us to be like, you can only wear native.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's 7 days a week. Like I don't expect somebody to wear native once a week. I'm like once a month is perfect for me. You know what I mean? If you wear it twice a month, I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
But like yeah, bro,
yeah.
and like there's no reason to try to not pigeonhole yourself, but say I'm the only brand that you can wear. You know what I mean? Like or I'm the only music that you can listen to.
Right.
You know, that's one of those things where like there's so much on the plate that's like strength in numbers. If we can bounce the ball back and forth and say, come buy some J-style clothes, come buy some native clothes, it's strength in numbers, bro.
Strength in numbers.
Yeah.
And I think
brass tacks.
And I think we as a group, we all come from different worlds, and we've brought our worlds together now, and it's bringing other communities all together into this, these 4 walls. I think it's awesome. I think the whole thing is very cool. I think these the last 4 years, man, have been a great time.
My man,
it's been fun. We have a lot to come, but I think sitting at episode 200 of the PowWows, a good time to say like appreciate both of you and everything you guys do in your own right, man. Like,
Bro, we
yeah.
we have literally figured this entire thing out on our own, which is crazy. To
Crazy,
think.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people come to
Yeah.
us all the time and go, "Can you produce our podcast?" It's like, yes, we can. Yeah,
Yeah,
like we know
yeah.
how to do it. We can get it done. And I do want to turn the YouTube into the next Vice land where you've got if you want to hear criminal content's here, sneaker content's here,
Yeah.
daily content is here, and you can find it all under one YouTube channel. Like that's
Yeah.
that's the goal.
Device, yeah. And tomorrow we're filming the episode 100 of Sports Talk on the Levee.
And that's
100 episodes of Sports Talk.
And that's crazy to think because I've been doing this podcast since 2016. So, like we're this is our 200th podcast, and we do it almost weekly. Last week we had the pipes burst, so we weren't able to do it. But I feel like everyone that's doing this podcast, I'm like, how are they catching up to us? But it's like, bro, like we're 100 podcasts up, so it's like that's almost 2 years of
Yeah.
weekly podcasts.
Yeah, I mean that is by this time next year it's like you're at 250.
Which seems like we should be at 500 by next year.
Right, but that's not how
That's not how time works.
exactly. Yeah, it's just the think that we've got 200 of the PowWow, 100 of Sports Talk. It's only makes sense. It's time to start a new one.
Yep, 100%, bro. Next week, the What If podcast. Let's roll.
Let's do it.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. So then by the time we get to 100 of What If, it'll be 200 Sports Talks and then 300 PowWows.
I'm in.
Let's do it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's like perfect timing for
Yeah.
everything too.
Like Monday, because right before we do Tuesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we have so much. There's so much fun that we're about to have, and 2024 is gonna be super cool. We're already halfway. We're over. It's almost January is wrapping up soon, man. I feel like this month has flown by.
I feel like this month has dragged the fuck on. I feel
It's
like
flown by
this
for me.
month has been like 3 months long.
Has it? It's
Yeah.
flown for me. But I'm like working on. I've been anticipating this show on Thursday. So we're all living in our own situations
Our
and
own
it's just,
realities.
yeah, man, it's crazy. And we're all coexisting, doing our thing. It's
We're in the same room, but we're in completely different worlds
yeah, it's
at the same time.
it is. It's crazy. I'm having a like. It's stressful. Life is stressed like anything else. But I know I'm building towards the future with everything I'm doing. Everything I'm doing, whether it's here, whether it's Madison Theater, whether it's at my own home, like with my daughter, everything is building for my future. And I think that is what gives me that satisfaction and that fulfillment. Is like I know I'm literally building for it.
For sure.
I'm working for something that's going to be there in 5 years. That's going to be there in the future for me. So when you work towards something you love and what you enjoy, it makes it just seems like it's just flying by. And I try to catch it.
I'm gonna be honest, Andrew. In the last 7-8 months, you've gone through the most interesting amount of changes. The car situation twice. Your dog. Now your daughter's growing up. You started another show. Like you've gone through a lot in a short amount of time. Honestly, it's really interesting. I mean, yeah, we all equally have been doing our own things, but like your life has physically been impacted multiple times in that amount of time. It's really interesting.
Yeah, that is a good point. The car thing was crazy.
That was wild.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
dealt with that
wild.
for so long. That was almost a year ago. I got hit last February.
Almost a year ago. Yeah.
It took them all the way to the fall to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they.
So much has happened
I
since
know.
last February.
Yeah, right. And we're about to be in February.
About to be in February. Almost.
No, we're
the
about
full
to be
year.
right there.
Do you remember the date?
February 7th.
February 7th. Yeah, a couple weeks. Like 2 weeks.
I'm running for the NFL playoffs next year.
Next year.
Bro, so what? That's a topic. So we got 4 teams left. We got the Ravens playing the Chiefs, and the 49ers playing the Lions. Who would have thought the Lions?
Yeah.
That I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
I mean,
before.
No,
I mean, honestly, like you got to see the Lions go because you want to see Eminem in the stands.
Yes, yes.
You know, you
yes.
want to see him who is? It's got Taylor Swift probably overtakes Eminem
in the hype factor.
In the
for sure.
hype factor, only because of the fact that Eminem doesn't want to be on the camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't want to be televised.
He's like, take my picture and I'll go home.
Taylor's doing the dumb shit. She's over there doing the fucking icky shuffle or whatever she was doing.
All the extra stuff.
All the extra
the
stuff.
custom jacket. She got a custom jacket for that game.
Yeah, it was pretty fire.
It was actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little like
It was
the fact that her celebrity-ness is like, all right, everyone's gonna be jealous because I'm the only person in the world that has this jacket. Like
she's not though, because it was one of the players' wives that makes it for everybody.
Makes the jacket. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
but it was one of a kind because it was like cut apart from the jersey. Yeah,
they did that. Hey.
But you already know she's mass producing those things. If she can.
For sure. If you can put her name on it and it can be sold. Oh, certain.
I'll be real though. Seeing the Bills lose how they did was so painful. That field goal, he misses the field goal. The game ends.
That's how they lost. I didn't watch.
He missed the field goal. Yeah.
Dang.
The Chiefs won
I was rooting. I was rooting for the Bills.
Bills field goal. Yeah, me
but
too.
I'm not surprised
that
the Chiefs won. I mean, I think that they just don't want to see Patrick Mahomes in the Super. I generally think that's the problem. I have nothing against him. He's a young man making things happen. If he
being
won,
considered the best quarterback. That's I mean, Tom Brady's there, but like athletically and what he can do is pretty much it.
As of right now. In quarterbacks right now currently playing, he's definitely up there.
He's number one.
I can't take credit away from Aaron Rodgers. He's still technically considered an NFL quarterback, so he's got to be top 5. And then
we'll see what happens with him.
Who's Bills?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, 3,
4.
So where does Jackson?
Can't forget about Lamar Jackson.
Where's Jackson? Is he 2?
Lamar Jackson is 2.
Number 2. Okay, so Mahomes, Jackson.
Jackson.
Who's 3?
Number 3 is probably Burrow or...
Because Burrow's up there. Okay, I'll say.
Burrow or...
So then that makes Rodgers 5?
Probably Burrow, then Allen's number 4.
Then... Or do you even put Rodgers at 5? I put him at least top 5. I got to. Like overall talent.
Rodgers is older. At his prime, he was obviously up there, but now he's older. So I'd say Rodgers is probably like 8 to 10, because you cannot forget about Matt Stafford's in there somewhere. Kirk Cousins is injured. We'll see what happens.
I can't put Matt Stafford above Rodgers.
No, I don't think so. I don't. But he's really competitive.
He's good.
Yeah,
he's good. People slept on Lamar, so gotta give him his credit.
Yeah, Justin Herbert's up there.
Where do you put Lawrence? Lawrence hasn't been
Trevor
up there
Lawrence
that long.
is up there. He's probably 10.
10. I was gonna say he's definitely not above Rodgers. No, he's got a lot to do.
He's probably 10.
And then
I put Rodgers at about 7.
2
is probably
Miami.
2 is probably like 11. He's probably right after Trevor Lawrence.
He needs another. I think he needs another 2 years.
Yeah.
So if we got most of our top 10, where do we put CJ and Justin Fields? You know, I gotta ask Ohio State.
Okay.
Where do we put them?
So I would say I'm gonna put CJ Stroud above Justin Fields.
Easily.
So
I didn't want to admit that at first, but then I started seeing CJ make moves, and I was like, all right,
you're Ohio State boy.
He's that boy. He's gonna break the curse for us. In 10 years, he's gonna be in the conversation for sure.
I would put CJ Stroud at probably
12, 13.
I mean, I don't know.
How do you feel
9.
about them taking out the little snippet of him praising Jesus?
I saw the picture. He had the shirt on.
I don't know why they don't take that snippet out of everyone. So I don't know why his
why
has
he been?
You know, people they celebrate in many different ways. So like I don't know why they did his like that.
Why would that even?
It didn't.
Matter?
It's a big deal, but it's a distraction, dude.
They're gonna get people.
They're making
talking
a story
about
of nothing.
They're gonna get people.
Well, I mean, it's not a distraction because they didn't want it to be heard.
But someone's gonna post about it. It's the internet. Things aren't. That whole situation is.
How do you know what? Now think about it. How did they get the full footage? That would be like us giving it the full footage of somebody.
Give them the full
was
footage.
Given the footage.
And you cut it out.
You cut it out, yeah.
That
'Cause
just
they
seems
cut it out
insane.
live though. They cut it out live and then
They
had it
stopped.
recorded.
They stopped that section.
So was there two recordings happening at once?
I mean, they've got we've got a
Multiple cameras?
live and record,
Yeah.
right?
It's true.
So
Well,
Yeah,
maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's what we're allowed to see and what they're showcasing. You know, maybe that's because I mean, it's every interview is talked about. Every single interview. It doesn't matter who it is. If they go up on that podium, other people online are talking about it. So maybe that's what's happening simultaneously as it's live. It's also being recorded. So what we're seeing is the recorded version, not the live version. Maybe that, just throwing it out there. I don't know. I didn't watch it. But I did see a photo of him with the shirt on, and I could care less. I mean, he's a human being. It's not that big a deal.
Barstool Sports is now posting about that NFL reassigned to the Chiefs game that I was talking about before the podcast.
Yeah.
So they just reposted it as well, talking about how is the NFL rigged because they assigned Sean Smith to the Chiefs-Ravens game, who just happens to give road teams a massive advantage every time he's on the field.
Right. Which I thought we already had like proved that it's been rigged for quite some time, but a conversation that most people probably don't want to have.
Warren Sharp posted the NFL pushed the panic button. They have a ref in the rotation who is a massive edge to road teams. Road teams win at the number one highest rate with him. He penalizes home teams in no ways other ref has ever done, and he's calling the Chiefs road game.
And they know this. This is product prime knowledge. People.
You think they
Here's
want Mahomes to be
the stipulation.
Okay.
Here's the thing, because everyone's talking about how the last 3 years the logos have matched the two teams that have made it to the NFL, right?
Yes.
And this year it's supposed to be the Ravens and the 49ers because of the purple and red in the logo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, the red is for Chiefs too, though, huh?
It is for Chiefs.
But it wouldn't. But there's no purple on the NFC side. There's blue and red. And gold.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Blue and silver and red and gold.
Yeah.
And then on the AFC side, it's red and yellow
So
and purple and black.
So
So
what?
it
So what do you
have to
think?
be
Do you think?
it would have to be Baltimore?
Who do you think
Baltimore.
wins? Do you think Baltimore or Chiefs win?
Oh, I think Baltimore wins.
Baltimore hands
I think
down.
the Ravens
They're at the-
crush.
They're at the top.
I think the NFL's ready to see Lamar Jackson take.
So do you think the NFL is scripted
Dude, I think there is.
to a point?
There's betting involved. There's lines being pushed and making
what
like.
what if
There's got to be something. It's
Throw-
an entertainment league.
throw,
You've already
throw it
opened
out there the same way that the WWE scripts what they do. Maybe that's how they allow some form of sports to go. Do what you want, but at the end, this is the outcome. They can play the game however they want,
But
but
how do they get it there?
they
Refs?
allow certain things to happen.
Del
Just-
Hall in the building.
Yeah.
They allow
Hey.
certain things to happen. They allow certain calls to go, and you got to just suck it up, because we remember, like we were talking about, there's the live and there's the recorded. There's only so much that we can see not being at the game. So think about it that way. There's a whole different visual when we went to the Bengals game the other day. There's a whole different visual of them in the stands watching the game than us on television. So
Yeah.
there's so much that we can see, and then there's the commercials, and then there's all these other things happening.
They're really good at not replaying stuff when they don't need.
Yes.
When they don't want to.
Yes.
So they're strategically. Your space is saying they're strategically presenting the cameras certain stuff, and then the crowd is seeing what's ever happening anyways.
Exactly.
So,
But the viewer is
it's
also
like
seeing
magicians.
Yeah,
stuff.
the viewer is also seeing something, and I'm not saying it has to be completely different, but I'm like, me going to that Bengals game was a completely different thing than me watching it on TV, 100%. So it's like maybe
we
maybe
didn't even know that T. Higgins got that catch.
Yeah,
we didn't
had-
know it right. We
had-
took us a
had
while before,
no idea.
and he made the catch of the year.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Like we're only seeing what we can see. We're not hearing the conversations that are taking place down there. We're not hearing the stuff that is said during commercial.
Yeah.
So it's a visual perspective. I think
And the NFL knows that.
If we
The
could
NFL knows, right?
break
But
it
for
down,
sure about
if
how
we could
that-
break it down
yeah.
specifically the Super Bowl, not even the season, just the Super Bowl. There's so much that we are able to see and so much that we can't. Play the game how you want to play it, the first half, first portion of the game, certain parts, but at the very end of the game, this has to happen so this team wins.
I don't think that's the case. I think they're hedging the bets. I think
They're hedging too.
I think the refs have a way to sway the game to a point
For
where,
sure.
you know, it's like let the players play the game, but the refs know, you know,
They know when to make
it's
the
just like the
calls.
UFC, bro. You don't ever want it to go down to the judges, because if it
Yeah.
goes down to the judges, they're going to give it to the person that's going to bring more value to the next fight.
Exactly.
And that's what happens. I think it's
a lot.
just like I don't think it's scripted where Mahomes is gonna throw an interception, because that's so unrealistic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you
like
wouldn't be able to guarantee that. You'd have to have something that makes sense.
You would have
and
to know.
every single play scripted, bro, would be so difficult. But
So the only thing I could
if you
Yeah.
have the refs to hedge it and to say
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
offsides,
Yeah.
Holding.
holding,
And that's-
Holding happens every play.
Every
It's
play
just
it
whenever they
happens.
choose to choose.
And that's
yeah,
what I was
so they can use that card whenever they
Flag.
want to.
And that's what I was getting at. I'm saying they can play it however they want. I'm not saying that is the part that's scripted. I'm saying the outcome is scripted. They already know who's going. The outcome is
But
scripted.
how
They
do
just
they make
I
that-
I don't think that's right. I think
How?
they had, because you can't guarantee that.
No, I'm saying
that,
how would they make it
because you're
so it
affecting
happens?
you're affecting
No,
the
you
other
can't.
games.
But how are they getting the colors right?
You're
Let's like how
I think
is that
that's I think
happenstance and it's just the internet's going crazy.
yeah,
And
100%.
And the NFL knew that the Ravens were going to be good.
But
and
a
then
lot
you put
of-
red in there, and red's a common color.
a
There's
lot of
teams
people.
in the red.
A lot
I mean,
of people. are gonna-
purple's not a common color by any means.
No, purple's the weird-
There's only 2 teams in the NFL that rock purple.
So
But a
because
lot
you
of-
have it would either to be the Vikings or the Ravens.
A lot of
And-
people
and
are gonna.
Vikings ain't going.
A lot of people are gonna take
They
that
were ahead of-
picture.
They were in contention though.
A lot of people are going to take that picture and they're going to run with it and they're going to have conversations. So like I said, it's another thing about the media. It's something that we are able to see. That picture trended for a reason. So now everybody's talking about it. That's all I'm saying. You could take that and redo it and change the image. I used to watch this video of this person taking one of the logos and changing it and making it their own and stuff like that. And it's going to trend. Everybody's going to look at it. Everybody's going to go, oh, well, you got to make my team. You got to do this. You got to do that. It's about what we are able to see. And that's what we saw. That's why everybody lost their mind. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. There's something that's being done. I don't know how. I don't know why. But it's
I mean, there's
being
only
done.
there's only 32 teams in the NFL, 16 here, 16 there. You break the colors down. Other than the purple, it's pretty across the board. If you throw a blue in there, if you throw a red in there, if
yellow.
if you throw a yellow in there, you're gonna hit at least 3 to 6 teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I don't believe the whole like completely scripted thing, but I do think that the refs have the hedge on everything. I think that that they've got a little bit of leniency. I mean, they can control the game, bro. They can literally just a 60-yard pass they can call. They can
Holding.
say holding.
Holding.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We'll take it back.
And since holding happens essentially in every play, all the camera guy has to do is go, oh, it happened right here. It must have been him.
Yep.
And maybe there was 4 other people holding.
I mean,
on one play.
they've got a whole team of people upstairs that are already watching, and everyone's got. The NFL is so intricate, bro. Everyone's got headphones. Everyone's got a headset. Even the football has a nickel-sized memory chip in it. You know that, right? So the football's got a memory, like a nickel-sized chip inside there.
See how fast the
So
ball's moving?
it knows where the ball is within 6 inches, bro. So if like when Travis Kelce threw the ball into the stands after the touchdown, that's technically a $7,210 fine because of how expensive and how important that ball is to the NFL. So, and if you do it again, a second offense, it's like $13,800. It's almost double. So But each one of those balls has the stats, bro. It has where the ball is, how far it's gone, how fast it's traveled, and that's how they get all the stats for the game is inside the ball. And it weighs less than 1.33 grams, so you can't even feel this thing inside the ball. It's not like it's deterring the quarterback at all.
And they just make them all with all balls standard.
All balls since 2017. I looked this up yesterday. Because after the game, I was like, "That's a fine, that's a fine."
Yeah.
And Caitlin's like, "What do you mean that's a fine?" I'm like, "That ball's got like a brain behind it." She's like, "What do you mean?" And I like Googled it and I looked it up and showed her. It's like since 2017, all the balls have had a memory chip inside it that relays all the info to upstairs.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's interesting. Yeah.
It's interesting that it's only been since 2017.
Because
I mean, you could have done it in the 80s, like that wouldn't have happened. But like,
I mean, the technology is just new. It's not like you can get something inside the ball that isn't going to weigh anything. Like in the 90s, even 2000s, it would have been too heavy to accommodate inside the ball, right? Or you could do like the NHL did, which I thought was kind of dope when they had the puck that had the flame behind it to show how fast the puck was going. Did you ever see that?
I have.
Like I think it was like the late 90s. They were trying to make the NHL more popular, and so they were putting a flame behind the hockey puck. So if like somebody slap shot it, it'd be like a red flame behind it, or if it was just getting past to somebody, it would be a blue flame. But also just so you can see where the puck is too, because at the time I'm sure they were assuming, why aren't we getting viewers? That like this puck is getting passed so many times, it's hard to see where it's at.
It's hard to see where it's at. Yeah.
It's not like the NFL where
small.
the players got the ball.
But I wonder. I now wonder like, would they do that in a lot of other sports now?
No, they took it out, so they don't even do it in the NHL. So there was obviously a hindrance or something that
affected it.
Yeah, just the fact that we're like it looked fake or like people didn't like it. Who knows, man? People are finicky these days, bro.
Hey, people just get butthurt about it.
I'm just trying to drive down the street without getting hit by a car, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Trying to ride my bike down hills without getting smacked by people.
How many cars have you got?
5, man.
5.
I don't
How
need
many
any
in 2023?
No, the last one would have been 21.
It was 21.
Because I was still working at Planet Fitness, so it'd have been 21 last time.
Yeah, I think it might have been 2022 because we fixed your bike here at this store, right? No, we had the store in 2021.
It was the other one because I remember it sat back there so long that the tire got punctured on that little whatever that rack thing was, so it would have been then. But that was messed up. But that was wild.
Let's avoid the cars.
Let's avoid the cars.
Yeah, man.
I'm in the street a lot less nowadays.
Yeah. It's crazy where everything ends up, man.
I mean, the one I was on the sidewalk. He was coming. He was the valet, so he was coming out, and he hit me on my way to work. So hey, I was on the sidewalk. Yeah. It was his fault. That was the only time I was on the sidewalk. Mm-hmm. All the other times I was in the street, I ran across the street. Dude hit my ankle. Life happens.
I got hit one time. My shoulder's still messed up from it, man.
Yeah, that kid.
Yeah, bro. I should have. I mean, you've been hit by a car, bro. At the time, it's like your adrenaline's rushing, and it's like
I should have got paid. I'm pissed.
Well, yeah. Do we exchange numbers? It's like, man, like, was I in the right? Was I in the wrong? Was he in the right? Was he in the wrong? It's like, I can stand up, I can walk around, like I'm not dead.
I was thinking about it way too much. Like I feel like if I was more hurt, then I would have probably implemented.
I mean, my shoulder hurt right away, bro. But it was like, I didn't realize that like when I hit the hood of his car, like it must have like dislocated my shoulder or something. Because it's at the point where like I'll pick up my dog and all of a sudden my arm will lock up and I can't move my arm and it's like I gotta pop it back in the place almost.
Kaylin, take the dog. I can't hold it.
Yeah. No, she'll just see me just like massaging, like taking my fingers and just trying to like get back inside that muscle, man. But it is what it is, bro. You take those risks, I guess.
Yeah. It just would have been nice if like
People
Good
pay
old-
attention.
That too.
People pay
Good old-
attention.
Good
That's
old
what-
Uncle Sam just sent me a check and was like, "Hey, this is for that thing that happened."
Bro, I got my ear bit off, my left eye detached, and they owe me $275,000 as of 2016 with a 12% interest if they haven't paid. I haven't seen a single penny, bro.
So you should have got a new house, new
I
car,
wouldn't- I
Tesla,
wouldn't.
all the things.
Hey, I got a new life, bro. I look at everything differently, man. I take that as a win because back in the day, man, I thought my shit didn't stink, and I thought, I'm so good at what I do. And then when all that happened, it threw me into the emergency lane,
Right.
And I really got a chance to open my eyes and go, okay, like, you're not mortal.
Not bulletproof.
Yeah, you're not bulletproof, bro, and like no one gives a fuck. Like
Right.
no one cares. You have to get better. So like I just got better at everything I did, man. I just, instead of talking about it, I became about it. I didn't want to go outside anyways, bro. Like I couldn't go outside in the sunlight, and when I did go outside, I was still going to the bars because I was single. And whenever I was having the conversations, like everybody was just staring at my eye or staring at my ear, and it was like, you're not even listening to what I'm saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it got to the point where like I'm not doing that. I'm not going out. Like I don't want to talk to people because I don't want people to stare at me like what happened.
Zone out.
Like
'cause,
they're zoning out and they're just like inside their mind. They're like, holy shit, what happened to this guy? And I'm telling them about my day or whatever the story is, and it's like they're not even listening, bro. And so like it really put me into like this fight or flight mode where like I got really depressed, and it got to the point where it's like, bro, like Nick Ellis told me, man, he was like, no one gives a fuck, dude. You can't get mad, you got to get better. And when he said that, dude, it was like, instead of me getting mad at him for saying that, I was like, holy shit, dude, like I got to get better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I spent all that time where I was stuck inside the house anyways, just learning my craft, learning how to get better. And then, the time came where Justin Otto saw the brand and was like, hey, let's get you in here for 28 days. You know what I mean? 4 years later, we're still here, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Big
geez.
moments, dude. Big
Yeah,
moments.
man.
You gotta take the small moments and double down on them. You know what I mean? Because that was the thing. It could have been there was 12 stores, bro, that all had a 28-day stint, and I'm the only one that's still here. You know what I mean? Because I took it as, don't use it as a pop-up shop, bro. Turn it into something where they go, we can't lose this kid. And that's what happened, man. They said, look, we like what you're doing. What do you think about the store outside? And I was like, I hate it. Like, what do you hate about it? I'm like, I hate the carpet. I hate the back room. I hate how it looks like Justice. He's like, what can we do to fix it? Like, shoestring budget. And I was like, all right, pull the carpet up, redo the cement floors, and I'll do the rest. You know what I mean? And then so that's when I still got the photo of just a screenshot of a real 7-Up machine just covering that door hole. And I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how? We want robot mannequins that greet you when you walk in. They're like, not in the budget, can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we'll figure out how to make it happen.
And we got
Max Headroom, bro. We got Max Headroom saying hello to you every time you walk into the store.
That video, every time he makes a sound, I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to me, that particular video, because I didn't know anything about it, and it makes it a full circle. Me growing up an Eminem fan and watching the Rap God video, and I see that in my head, but like lately, these last couple years, like I just hear his voice. We've listened to it so many times, we know what part he's on when he's about to say his next thing, and it's hilarious, honestly.
I love it, bro. I love everything we've done with the store, and I can't wait what we're going to do in 2024, man, because these next 3 months, if we don't get an email back from Lids, we're just going to go down there.
Go to the doorstep.
You have to.
And it's going to be one of those things where like, hey, I've got an appointment with Jim. Where's Jim at?
Yeah.
Oh, Jim's not here today. Okay.
Who's up next?
Who's next?
Yeah. Who's Jim's partner?
Who's his representative?
Who's in charge? Who's
Yep.
in charge here?
Yep.
Yeah,
We have a meeting today.
We are about to take over.
Lids, we're coming for you. We've got the best product since New Era, and we're here to take a little stake in that realm. That's all.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
10%.
Let's do it, baby.
10%.
We just want 10% of all stadiums.
Yeah.
Every stadium.
Every stadium.
We want to be at every mall in America.
That's it.
That would be amazing.
And maybe have a store one day in the Mall of America.
Of America.
How sick would that be?
I want to take a trip there. Let's do it.
I think the Mall of America is not doing well. I think there's
Another mall paint, another mall.
so
situation?
there's a new mall in New Jersey called America's Mall.
Oh wow!
They barely.
So effective.
That's where Mr. Beast put his burger joint.
Oh, is that the mall that he sent all those people in and they stayed there for like so much time and they'd be found?
Maybe he did a video on it where he like I've never seen Mr. Beast like get overwhelmed where he was like leave me alone, but he was in like one of these like the back door here, like sitting on the ground like right when you walked through the door and the cameraman came back there and he was just like, please get the camera out of my face.
I got
I can't
work to do.
no work to do. Like he had to like take a minute to himself, like just to be like. There's too much going on here.
Damn.
Like the
That's
line for the burgers were like, I mean, it was like up the stairs, around the whole thing, going around and like going out, going down the stairs. It was crazy.
I think it's the train the train that, you know, he created a new version of nostalgia. You know, I watched the video, people lined up for the PlayStation 1. Like he created that new atmosphere now to where people. They might not even like the dang thing, but they're going to stand in line and they're going to wait for it because he is who he is. And he created something that people want to be invested in.
They want to be a part of it. That's all it is, bro.
I saw that bag one time and I was ready. I was like, all right, I got to try this thing.
At the name of the game, bro, at the end of the day, all it is about wanting to be a part of that brand or being a part of that you know, company that they're pushing.
Yep.
That's what we want to be, bro. That's it.
We just be in the conversation.
Yes, sir.
Put us
in the conversation, and then let's show you what we can do.
Yeah, we'll do the rest of the work.
Yeah.
All right, man. I think that's gonna wrap up another episode of the PowWow.
200, baby.
200 in the books.
Ching.
200.
And that's 7 years in the making.
Here's
2016. So we've been going hard the last 2 years for show.
Here's till 300. Let's go.
Let's do it, dude.
300.
20,
Us
25.
three.
20, 25. Yeah.
All right, man.
25.
All right, this is going to wrap up another episode of the PowWow. I appreciate you guys. If you have any time this week, stop down at 16 Lots. They've got all types of beer. They've got Peaches, which is a hard seltzer. I almost bought that for you instead of that beer over there. But I met the master distiller of the Kraken. So I was
That's
like, all right,
okay.
bro, we'll go with the Kraken.
That's
for sure.
cool for episode 200. Cheers.
Yes,
I'll finish
sir.
up here. But yeah, this Thursday, Beyond the Stage Live, come down January 25th, 2024. With Kevin McCoy Band and David Jonathan Creative, the guy that actually painted the 16 Lots.
Oh,
art.
nice, dude. He's going to be down there?
He's setting up at Kevin McCoy.
Dope.
So I got him. So I haven't talked much on his stuff, but huge shout out to him, David Jonathan Creative. He's super awesome. Dude is so low key, but he's one of the most talented painters that I've ever met. And I just give him all the kudos. And he'll be there on Thursday set up. He's got some pieces ready for us. And
he's the one that painted the Kraken on all 16 Lots, bro.
Yep. His flyer has him painting on that.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. So I've got him
It was really dope. He actually asked me for one little small thing, and I said it, and now our door is part of the mural. Literally, he said he was looking at it and he was trying to figure out where everything was gonna go, and he was like, "You think I should paint the door?" And I was like, "It's art, dude. You got to do it."
Yeah.
I came back, and he was working on the door.
There you go.
I'm happy to help. It was great.
Hey, you did your part, bro.
Right.
But yeah, shout out to him.
All right, man. We'll see you next week in another episode of the PowWow, episode 201 next week. Let's go.
201.
And I apologize if anybody was trying to tune in to see the mailman. At some point, we'll get him here. My man is popular, and we are trying to lock him in. So,
We will do that.
yes, sir.
On to the next.
All right,
Let's
man.
get
We'll
it.
see you next week in another episode of the PowWow. It's your boy Jay Banks.
AI.
We're out of here.
Out of here later.
Later.
Bye.